Welcome back to the second series of the night. We had a very brief pause after a very exciting F2E against Flash series, and now we're entering another one that should be even more exciting. DBL against EVOS, two of our stronger teams. DBL sitting at the top spot right now because Flash lost, so they are now sitting solely at 6-2 and can go to 7-2 if they win this one. EVOS, on the other hand, needs to win this one to to stay in playoff contention. I'm Yulwei, with me as every day. Hello.
Yep, it's good to be back for a second series here. As you said, this is a really important one for EVOS. They need to win this to keep their playoff hopes alive, but it's a tough one. DBL is a very strong team.
Yeah, and we see the new lineup for DBL. Oh no, it's actually not the new lineup. So the new top laner who is eligible to play from today, if I remember correctly, because he turned 17 today, or his birthday is today, so 17th birthday. He could be playing right now, but it seems like they still want to go with Rezo. So another game. Rezo maybe he has recovered a little bit. On the other side, we see the new top laner, but one for EVOS. He has not looked too great, but EVOS has struggled with top lane all season. All their three top laners have not looked too great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Rezo has fallen off a little bit in the last few weeks. Definitely hasn't looked as good as he did initially. So top lane should be a bit of an interesting one in who shows up today. Could be interesting for sure, but here we are into Champion Select. What are we expecting to be priority pick and ban here?
That's a very good question. I think DR1 wants his Camille, most probably. Sawn has looked good on the multiple champs. Most notably, I think his AP champs have been very good. On the other side, Meliodas, notoriously very good J4. So we might see a little bit of focus towards the Prince of Demacia again. Rezo might look to go back to Vladimir and Akali.
Yeah, very possible. Rezo does default to that Vlad way too often.
Yeah, and
Which
we
is
see
a bit of a
Karma
mixed
banned out.
bag of whether we like it. Yep.
Coyote has played a lot of Karma, so the other top laner EVOS tried to integrate. They have subbed them out once Bud One came in the mid-season transfers. Bud One
Yeah.
has only played
think
one series so far. But
Yeah, but Coyote didn't look very good, so I
No.
think trying to go with But One's actually a pretty solid decision by EVOS. Olaf being removed as well as Aatrox, so getting rid of Rizo's sort of pocket pick, and Lux removed as well. Pretty normal ban so far, honestly.
yeah, we have seen a lot of more stable meta in the last week and a half, I would say. Because the teams get used to 9.13. We'll have another patch next week. That will probably hit a lot of the teams quite hard because there were many changes, especially looking at top lane with Klett coming in, with Poppy being stronger, with some of the top lane bullies being nerfed, and Jace, Cannon, and Nico. So we'll probably see a little bit of a different draft next week, but we're still on 9.13, so Yumi is still first pick worthy.
Yep, and looking at the picks there, Yumi is first pick for BOB. Strong pick. I like it. I like to see VCS teams playing the Yumi. We don't always see her given preference. Ooh, Camille.
This is a
Sorry,
new
Camille.
one.
Kalista. This is interesting. Normally, it's only Jisoo who really wants that super high priority, but Big Cora is saying, "Get me Kalista."
First rotation Kalista is super surprising.
Yeah.
They want to try something new. Kalista for Bikoro. I mean, Kalista always signals bot side focus, right? You want to play around your Kalista. He has played it once before, and they lost with it. I'm actually not sure which support they paired it up with. Usually, you want to have a CC support with the Kalista, and Alistair is very good. Something like Nautilus can be fine as well.
Yep. But it will be going up against Yumi Lucian, which is a very difficult lane to play for basically anyone. can be super lane dominant. Also, that Akali that's been picked up, I imagine that goes to Raizo, probably.
Yeah,
It's a
I
little bit
think
hard
so
to
as
call.
well. Now the Nico secured. We have no idea about But1's champion pool, but it doesn't really strike me as a big DR1 champ. DR1 is more of the hard carry player. Nico is most of the time more of a facilitator. So I'd expect this one to go over to But1 from 1-1 to the another one.
Xin Zhao.
Straight up locked in.
So early game focus around bot lane, you say?
Yep, it definitely looks that way. Easy dive setup as well, because Yuumi doesn't really offer a whole lot against dives. You have a lot of summoner spells, that's fair, but not a whole lot of a health bar to work with that it would have had with a Braum or something like that. So this is a very obvious draft for Dashing Buffaloes. We have to see how DBL answer this.
Yep, and DB is trying to ban out junglers, it seems, taking out the Lee Sin that we know Sorn somewhat likes. Volibear removed as well. I mean, that is a really good pick to go with Callista.
Yeah, that's
so
actually
that kind of makes sense.
I like this Volibear ban. He can tank for the dive as well. Imagine the very strong level 3 dive with Volibear passive and aftershock. He's probably able to tank up to 4 turret shots even. That should be a super easy execution for his 2 damage threats there with Callista and Xin Zhao coming in. So very good adaptation from EVOS. I like this draft a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Would probably like to see a Thresh ban as well. That is the other support that pairs super well with Callista. Maybe Nautilus, one of those two.
Yeah, Nautilus might be the more versatile choice for Dashing Buffaloes, because Thresh is very much a 2v2 focused draft. He's very safe. Oh, it's actually a Pike. Don't really agree with a Pike ban. Maybe they play too much against Pike on 9.14.
Oh, hello!
What is this?
Champion coming in. What is going on? DBL. Here we go, boys.
Yeah, Palette has had enough of the normal support stuff. He gets bored very quickly. He has played Volibear, he has played the Sylas support, and now he seems to be going for Pantheon and the support role.
Is this support though?
Yeah,
is this support?
I think this will be support. Pantheon is not an all champ, and you don't blind pick Pantheon mid. Like, what for?
But could go top though, right? That's what he's meant to be. He's meant to be a top laner.
He's meant to be a top laner? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he was a mid laner.
I think Riot thinks he's a top laner.
I think Riot doesn't know that he exists.
Hey, he's getting a rework. He's next rework. They know he exists. They just don't care about him.
Oh.
But no, that's confirmation that it's support. And Raizo gets his Vlad. I have no idea how this bot lane goes.
This looks dangerous. This
is a bloodbath.
And by the way, this is also a dive setup, because everyone who has ever played against Pantheon knows he can block 2 turret shots, so not
totally
great
fair
to play against that one.
It really isn't. This bot lane is going to be an absolute bloodbath.
EVOS really hopes it will not be, because the bloodbath will not go in their favor if it is a bloodbath.
Yeah. I mean, it is going to be pretty execution heavy for DBL, because, I mean, it's just going to be tower dives, right?
Yeah.
It's just going to be constant 3-man tower dives.
I don't think there's any way they kill 2v2, really, because Lucian Yuumi has too many defensive summoners to really get caught out.
The one thing is Pantheon stun kind of doubles up, because it effectively stops Yuumi from moving as well.
That's true. But Yuumi can still exhaust the Callista then, and the Callista does not deal damage. So
yeah, but Pantheon does. The Pantheon deals damage, right?
Yeah, true.
His base damage is pretty high. Like,
and his crits at 15% HP are not great.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, every now and then we saw this bot lane, like, not with the Callista, with the Talia. We saw the Avengers bot lane coming out, They
Look at
don't have
this
Talia.
snipe, though.
Instead, they've gone. That's ridiculous. A little bit inflated.
A little bit.
5 of those are against Nathan.
Yeah, maybe even more. And yeah, I think Yulwei has had a great time in the first 2 weeks. We definitely thought he was the best top laner in the first 2 weeks. Then he fell off completely. He got absolutely trashed by both Yoshino as well as Hero.
Yep.
Not looking too great.
Yeah, and I mean, the one good thing here for DBL is this game, the top lane does not matter for the first 20 minutes. Let's be real. This is just going to be bot lane. Both junglers have to focus on bot lane because EVOS has to respond, right? They can't just let them get dove over and over.
They really have to with the bot lane as well. Try to look for counter ganks, counter dives, maybe catch DBL overextending into a dive.
Yeah, and I mean, Pallet is living up to his name. He's got every color of support pick under his belt. This man just plays everything. He's played Silas, he's played Elise, he's played Volibear, and now he's bringing out the Manthian.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Well, look at his face. He's way too unexcited. He needs to be more pumped. He gets to play.
Yeah, you got to get yourself into the mindset, right? You've got to be tabbing out, opening up Google and watching some quick 300 clips.
Yep.
Get on it.
With how easy Pantheon is to play, you can probably just watch the whole movie on a separate monitor.
Yeah, true. Good movie too. I enjoyed that movie. Not particularly historically accurate, but they didn't go for that, so.
A very
man.
heroic performance from the Pantheons in that
fun.
movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't see too many man drops in it, unfortunately. But
very unfortunate.
Maybe in the sequel. Man. I'm gonna be totally honest, I really don't know how this bot lane goes.
I mean, we can theory craft around what the power points are, right? Lucian Yumi wants to push out the lane so they don't get dived. Pantheon will probably fight for brush control a lot in the early game, and Yumi can't really solely control brushes. That's one of her weakest sides as a support. She's not very self-sustainable in brushes, so she can't really control the brushes too well. So Lucian probably has to play around the top side of the map, and then he probably needs to go for the PTA, to go for quick trades, try to chip away at the health bar.
Do you reckon he goes PTA?
You think he...
You mean Lucian. Lucian.
I think he has to go PTA.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought you meant Pantheon.
No.
That's got to be Pantheon, probably Electrocute? Yeah.
That's no, it's Aftershock actually. Is it Electrocute?
Yeah, true. Actually, Aftershock.
I'm not sure. Electrocute would indicate more 2v2 power, or give him more 2v2 power. Aftershock would be better for diving. I think Aftershock is probably better. Yeah,
it is Aftershock. So I think that's quite smart. Because as we said in the last series, Aftershock is a pretty ridiculous rune on someone like Lux, who doesn't even get the damage from it. Pantheon gets the damage from it.
What's this Rumble skin doing with his leg? Why?
What's going on there? I hope that's not to do with the Rumble skin, because I love that Rumble skin. Super Galaxy. Yeah, super fun.
Very cool fire animation. I really
really.
By the way,
I love
what is Paulette doing here? He's the...
This is a bit cheesy. The baker's bringing out a cheese sandwich, boys. Is he going to get the catch? This is, I mean,
Flash
no.
W? Flash W?
I mean, if you want anything, you have to. But, oh well.
I absolutely love this Pantheon skin. It's the best.
This is Baker Pan. The whole, random food line is so good. The Leona, Olaf, and Pantheon.
The Olaf skin is ridiculous.
Exactly.
My god, that shit is intimidating.
Absolutely it is. And that's great. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, top lane matchup, interestingly, but one... Oh, another invade.
I mean, you should invade, right? You've got point and click CC. Boom, no way gets jumped on. Follow up there by the Zin's out. Can they find anything? They get the heal instantly and force them off the red buff, and they get the sticker. stick around to steal it? Yes, they are. Or Meliodas is at least. So, I mean, not a bad start there.
Yeah, they get the heal,
That's a
so
free
once,
combat.
yeah, one combat summoner already gone. Very
Yep.
intelligent choice from nowhere, I should say, with the cleanse, so you can at least throw out one engage.
You can't not go to the cleanse here. It's like the TP's nice when you have the Yumi, but look what you're up against. You need triple combat
I
summoners.
actually think this could have been a barrier choice this game, especially
Yeah.
against dives. Barrier
Yep, I
could have
don't
been a
think that
good
would have been
option.
bad at all. Also, have a look at
Whoa,
Yumi's
whoa, whoa, what's
runes. They've
going on
got
here?
Guardian.
I'm sorry.
Oh, my stream just died. Did yours die,
Once
or?
again, no, my Steam opened for no reason at all, but we're
Oh.
back in the game. Meliodas goes for his first gank in the bot lane, and that was not really surprising, but he didn't get a whole lot. Oh, he's still
Yep,
here.
sorry, I'm just trying to get back in at the moment. My stream's
Oh
just
no,
reloading.
EVOS is still level 1. They really need the level 2 to hit, and this one will be a level 1 dive against the level 1.
Yep.
No way flashes out, Meliodas on top of him, but this will be easy counter kill. Oh no, it
Down
all
goes
went wrong.
Meliodas. That's really, really bad. Thank God for them that it's DR1 that gets the kill, not the bot lane. But
I mean,
that went really poorly.
That went really poorly, and it was pretty easy to anticipate, to be honest, right? Because we talked about this being a very obvious strategy for DBL in this game, very obvious bot lane dive strategy, and they spotted Meliodas bot lane, and he didn't really go back, so he just wanted to repeat dive.
Once you see the TP, you should just be backing.
I think he couldn't back anymore. It's Xin Zhao, he only knows one direction, and
True.
yeah, that direction wasn't really the right call for him this time. Xin Zhao, a very binary champ.
I mean, there's a lot of very binary champs on this DBL comp.
That's very true.
Like, they do one thing and it's engage. They just go forward. Absolute Chad comp.
And if anything is the worst feeling ever in League, it's being behind on a full engaged champion. That just feels horrible. You just want to instantly FF because you can't really do anything anymore.
Yep, absolutely. So now we do need to see. That said, I still think down in the bot lane, they do have the lead just because they have picked up a turret plate and there is a little bit of a farm advantage that should be equalized when the first reset for DBL comes in. But
not quite. I think they secured about a 10 CS advantage because there's still a wave Bikoro needs to clear. So the pressure at least paid off a little bit because they got the turret plate and the CS advantage. But they gave up the flash for Meliodas. So can't really revisit this lane right now. Probably have to wait until he hits the 6.
Yep, and I mean, one thing that we do need to talk about is at level 6, suddenly the roams from Pallet are pretty scary. Obviously, the man drop gives him very, very fast roams.
But then on the other side, we have Biop's roams, right?
Yeah, the Yumi roams. We know how fast Yumi gets between lanes. Absolutely ridiculous, but I'll have to see how that goes. I'd love to see a team comp Yumi Pantheon. That'd be great. Have double of them arriving.
Oh my god, that's my new idea today for my normals at the evening.
I think that might be something I have to play with a duo. Go bot lane Yumi Pantheon and just arrive in 5.
My god.
Yeah, you man drop in with the Yumi ult. Oh, where are they going?
Very good idea. Very, very good idea. We need to try that one.
Yeah. I mean, we still need to see some Garen Yumi in the VCS.
Yeah, I'm still very sad we didn't get to see the Garen Yumi because Yumi was disabled in the LEC.
Pallet's in trouble here. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, he is Aftershock. No way to kill him there. And Bikoro is actually super hard to fight the Kalista early on into minion wave. She can very easily turn around, even the 2v3 situation, especially with a tanky Pantheon not going down. So.
I mean, it's Hail of Blades Callista, right? That's so scary. So Butt1 doing really well up here. Vlad's normally considered a bit of a soft counter to Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, the early stages it's easier to play Rumble, right? Because Vladimir needs to invest a lot of his HP bar to clear out waves. Rumble just needs to just stay on top of the minion wave and press Q a few times and the minion wave is gone. So, as you would expect, Vladimir low on HP, but I don't really think there's a whole lot of kill pressure on bot 1.
Ooh, we could be getting a fight here. Palette dives forward with Null. Deer1's in so much trouble. He goes straight down. Palette picking up that kill. The Infernal Drake is low, but one has TP'd in. Raizo doesn't answer with his own. Meliodas has to smite to try and stay alive. It's not going to work out, though, and here comes the charge of EVOS. DBL in so much trouble. Big Koro throws the spear over the wall to beg for release, but it's all gone wrong. 2 for 1, and the Infernal picked up here for EVOS. This early game comp is not working out.
Yeah, big win for EVOS. They turned around another fight after the unsuccessful dive in the early game already. Not the greatest look for DBL's composition, who really needed to get going with their very obvious setup. And now they give up another dragon. It's the Infernal Drake. Next one will not be an Infernal Drake, so very hard to get back. Those stats are just lost for them. Ooh, this might be a quick one. This might actually be a little bit of a quick one.
I'm not sure why Raizo didn't TP.
He probably didn't see the opportunity to really do anything with the TP here. He used his ult top to clear the wave.
He did that after the fight.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Like,
it was probably not the greatest lane position, actually. It would have given up 2-3 waves. I mean, yeah, he's probably, in hindsight, you say he should have TP'd. But DBL thought they could secure the dragon and run out again. Clearly not the case.
I just don't think fighting 4v5 this early in the game is ever a good call. I feel like you have to answer the TP or back off and just give up the Drake.
And now you see the bot lane plays our SI kind of said in the champion select. They have to try to stick to the top side of the lane because they can't control the brushes. There's the, how is it called? Hex Flash? Yeah, the Hex Flash on Palette available. So he still has a lot of engage. No ignite though, so no immediate kill pressure.
Yeah, I mean, he's no LeBlanc, so I don't know how the Hex Flash really is going to go.
Yeah, that's really true.
But he does have it. And it is level 6 on everyone in the bot lane except Yumi, who's just hit 6 now, as I say it. So we could have proper rumbles coming out. And I mean, I don't think DBL has a fallback plan. I think they just have to keep throwing their heads at this wall, right?
Yeah,
they've got to try and break.
Pretty much is Raizo, but he alone can't really win the game. And EVOS should be able to accelerate their early lead, especially with Rumble, one of the best acceleration champs in the game. Just fight around the next few objectives, especially once the Rumble hits 11. Should be a pretty easy way to close out this game.
Yeah, I agree. I do think there is still the chance for DBL just force. You just gotta force. You gotta hope that you've got a big, strong forehead and you can break through the brick wall, right? Because that's all comp does. There's nothing else that a Xin Zhao Pantheon comp does. You just gotta bash your head.
Try to dive the Nico, actually. The bot lane dive is probably not ever gonna happen again, because too many defensive summoners are available to No Way and Biok. They might transition into diving in the mid lane, because there's an Akali. She has a little bit of CC, and then you throw Pantheon, Mandrop, and Meliodas, ult, and E engage. Top of that, should be a pretty easy kill on Nico. Not sure if it's enough to turn around the game, but it's something.
You know something I just realized? I have no idea what Pantheon's ult's actually called. I just call it the Mandrop. What is it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I genuinely have no idea what it's called.
Wait, what happened there? He cancelled his own ult. He channeled the ult and then, wow, you can cancel your own ult? That's interesting.
Yeah, it looks like you get most of the CD back as well.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a punishment, but he still has his ult available in a few seconds again. I'm not sure how that exactly works. I have to say I'm not a Pantheon expert.
No, neither am
I
I.
remember playing with a lot of Pantheon. My duo partner from many years ago played a lot of Pantheon mid with Tier first. A little bit of weird
All right.
shenanigans there. Um,
Is that why they're not your duo partner anymore?
I know he still is, but he plays ADC now. And we actually won a lot of games. He was great at split pushing.
Grand Skyfall. That actually, yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
Grand
Grand.
Skyfall.
That's actually a cool name.
It's a super
Man
cool
Drop's
name.
cool. I bet. This should be the Rift Herald being secured here for EVOS, though. Ooh, but here it comes. The Skyfall is in. A lot actually happening. They're on top of but one. He has to flash out.
Still alive.
Sword will go down, though. Yeah, he does. He does survive, and the Rift Herald was picked up by EVOS, but they are going to try and deny the pickup. This would be a good result here.
Can they do anything? Can they try to get this Rift out? They don't really have the mobility to go in and back out. You don't have the LeBlanc.
Yeah, they don't get it out. I think you could, like, you could get in there with your Lucian and, like, flash E, and you'd probably pick it up, but you'd just die.
Yeah, that's not worth it. We always talk about the Rift out being overvalued here in the VCS. And I think that would have been the case once again if they tried to sacrifice themselves for the Rift out. So now Shelly just goes down and has no afterlife. Very sad for her.
Very, very sad. Equalizer used just to clear out that wave. Pretty smart there by but one. Realizing he couldn't approach, so may as well just slow down the push. Yeah, was it up immediately? Did he use it on CD? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
because it was quite.
Gold back to even. It's not great for DBL. They want to play from an advantage, but at least it's not behind. They are not behind anymore, and more
they are
platings over to them.
Yep. Well, but one charging forward here does a lot of damage. Yeah, he did a lot there, and he did have backup. And the Cloud Drake is secured for EVOS, so they are still getting the objectives. But yeah, DBL's brought it back to where they just have a little bit of a lead, which is a massive improvement. And if they can get this first tower, it'd be pretty big.
Yeah, and another charge of Demolish. This one should be easy secure.
Ooh, has to use the puddle. Steps back into the Yuumi. Not the best decision.
Definitely not.
But he's okay.
They
he's
tried
alright.
to go for the turtle plating, but we're a little bit too late. So now they lost even more gold, not going for the kill on Razor. Very unfortunate decision making there from the EVOS. They could have gotten at least one more turtle plating if they immediately turned on the turret, or they could have gotten Razor. In the end, they don't get either. So more gold in the pockets of DBL. 700 gold lead at 14 minutes. They still need to accelerate.
Yeah, they need to keep the foot on. They can't let off the gas here. If they slow down, it's just not good enough. So hopefully we do see them continuing to drive.
And what do you think of Bud 1 so far this game? He has not really impressed us the last series he played, which was the first he was in.
Yeah, I think he's looked fine so far. I mean, he was Rumble against Vlad, which is completely an uneventful matchup, and it's not particularly easy for Rumble either, so he did okay. I think he's played the fights well as he can as a sub-level 11 Rumble. I think he's been fine so far.
Yep.
He'll have to prove himself going forward in the game.
Yeah, the next few minutes are very important for EVOS. They now have... No, but one is still level 10. He needs level 11, and then we could see a lot of rumbling.
Yep. That we absolutely could. Could definitely be equalizing the game. Yeah, it's like the thing is, DBL has such a small gold lead here that it's not really good enough for their comp. And we've said this a few times, but just want to stress how true that is at the moment.
Yeah, they will fall off in the later stages of the game with Meliodas and Palette, especially. Even Big Cora falls off a little bit. Kalista has a very weird stand in the game, especially when it comes to scaling. She usually is very strong in lane and at 1 items, 2 items, and she falls off DPS wise, but she's still a threat because she can probably 1v1 everyone on the map. So her scaling is a little bit hard to gauge.
I do like the comment in Discord there that the but one is just a clone of Dia one. Really should have changed the name up a bit more.
Yeah, I really hate that he's called but one. Like, ugh. 2 players
it's not
with
a good
one
name.
At the end looks a little bit strange.
Yeah. It does. I'd like it if for one game they just everyone had their name and then just one, so it was just Sawn one, No Way one,
Yeah,
Beyond
yeah,
one.
that's a good idea.
That'd be funny.
We've entered a little bit of a lull state. Once again, both teams are quite content with just farming up for a few minutes. There's no real objective to fight around. Mountain Drake will be there in 2 minutes. Level 11 secured
Yeah,
for BO3, so EVOS is equipped to
Yeah,
fight around
I
this
feel
Mountain
like-
Drake.
Yeah, I feel like this will be a big fight around the Mountain Drake. I think both teams really want this Drake, and DBL needs to fight around it. They need to win a decisive fight. But I think EVOS has all the tools they need to make sure it doesn't happen. With level 11, like a level 11 Rumble, do you really want to go into a Dragon Pit?
No, I think actually DBL might opt to not contest the dragon. It's a little bit risky because it will be the third elemental Drake.
What does your top do if you're not fighting though? Like, what do you do?
But you don't want to 5v5. You want to skirmish. You want to look for pigs maybe in the side lane. Maybe utilize the man drop to get on top of Rumble in the side lane with Vladimir in your backhand to damage a little bit as well. I don't think they want to 5v5 because you have no, I'm sorry. I meant the Xin Zhao and Pantheon. They will just stand in the full duration of the equalizer the whole time. So that's not a very good prospect.
Yep, it's very true. It's a very bad time, in fact. So, how do they find these skirmishes, though? So far, EVOS is playing very smart. They're playing nice and tightly grouped. They're not giving anything away.
Yeah, it's not the easiest game to play for DBL. They have picked a very strange composition. They have not snowballed it sufficiently in the early
Here
game.
comes the drop coming in. Does lock up onto Sawn. A lot of damage coming in. The Rumble ult is used. It's actually really bad.
A very defensive Rumble.
No kills. Yeah, no kills so far. And a lot of ults are used there. I feel like the Rumble ult could have been pointed the other way and they could have potentially fought this.
Yep, I agree. I think
did
the
go
Rumble
super
ult was too much of a panic ult. They were too afraid of the engage. Palette was already done. It's not like this is a carried Pantheon. This Pantheon does not deal a whole lot of damage. It's just there to annoy you and engage and soak up a few turret shots as well. If you want to dive.
Exactly. This Pantheon presses 3 buttons and then he's done.
Yeah, exactly. So they were way too I mean, they are probably pretty nervous playing against this much of a hard engage composition.
Yeah.
Every time anything happens on the map, you get very nervous. You don't know what exactly will happen. You know that you need to fight right now, but you don't really want to fight against something you don't know. So I think they just panicked a little bit too much.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, in the end, it hasn't really cost them. They still have priority on the map with this Mountain Drake up. They might lose their bot lane turret though. But they are pressuring the mid lane, and obviously if you have to pick between mid lane and bot lane, I'm taking mid lane 100 times out of 100.
Look at the
This TP's a little bit risky. The Rumble ult's used again. Again, not a very good Rumble ult here. It's just missing, and this is a really good fight now for DBL. Rizo charging forward. That Hemo plate was sick, and he's doing well on the backside of it. They picked up 2. Baron is up, and they've pinged it. They're going straight for it with a Callista.
Yeah, they should be able to secure this Baron. They don't have a Mountain Drake, but they have Pantheon and Vladimir to pretty much tank this Baron forever.
Yep. And Big Coral will stack up so many spears that there's no real chance of a contest.
What a big turnaround. I think this was a big overextension for EVOS. They didn't pay attention to the health bar difference, because if you looked at the health bars, it looked very dire for EVOS.
They're going in and Sword steals it! Sword steals the Baron away. He'll pay with his life, but it doesn't matter. Baron buff picked up. They're trying to B quickly in this bush as well. Yuumi buying time. The man drop's going to find absolutely no one because they did just press B. What a play out of Sword, you absolute hero.
Yeah, the Baron steal, and now another turret secured because BO3 was already pushing mid lane, so almost back to even. DBL needed this team fight because we talked about their team composition needing to be ahead. And they got 3k ahead. They wanted to secure the Baron to close out the game in the next 5-6 minutes. Instead, Sans throws himself into the Baron pit, steals away.
You have a Callista.
Look at this. Ooh.
Just
Kalista is
bad
not as
communication.
good anymore.
Yeah,
To be
but she's
fair,
still better. A Smite and a Callista is still better than a
yeah, that's true.
Smite.
That's true. That's
So
true.
you should
Sometimes
still
it's hard
never lose.
to communicate, though.
Is it? Is it hard? Like,
I mean, once
I think
again,
that's pretty unusual.
the nerfs come in, right? As
Yeah, that's
the
true.
jungler on top of the Baron, you always get nervous when there's a steal attempt, and then you have Kalista as
Oh,
well
it's
to coordinate. So you don't even have the same button on your keyboard. You have to rely on your ADC to press the button at the right moment. Then maybe communication gets a bit muddy as well, as Palette is probably screaming on his Pantheon. Should I engage on him? Whatever he's screaming. Imagine something Vietnamese.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine he's speaking Vietnamese.
I mean, we can say that for sure. We don't have to imagine.
Yeah, I don't think we have to imagine that. It'd be a bit weird if they were speaking anything else. But we have to see now, can DBL have anything else going?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a
So
very
difficult.
strong Vladimir on their side, right? And they are still
Yeah,
at the
but
mid-game
is
state
that
where the
enough?
Kalista still hits pretty hard. Especially look at Delusion's items. He's actually not going for a lot of scaling. This might come back to bite EVOS, because No Way is not really dealing a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, it's potential. But I do think this is going to be a very difficult comp for DBL to play out. Like, this comp is sort of meant to finish the game at 26 minutes, right? It's already 23 and they're definitely not finishing the game in the next 3.
Yeah, that's very true. Once again, don't really understand the Vladimir pick, I have to say. I mean, Razor really likes this champ, but what is it doing in this composition?
It's just late game insurance, but I don't think any insurance policy is good enough, right? You've got a Xin Zhao and a Pantheon. What are they going to do in the late game?
And the Kalista and the as an ADC as well. I think Xin Zhao Pantheon, if you have a late game ADC, and Vladimir might still be playable in the late game, but with Kalista, your damage is almost all of your damage in the late game is on Vladimir. That's
Yeah, I mean, they still do have ridiculous engage.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that's
true.
not going away. So they can still catch people out, punish mistakes from EVOS. And I mean, we've seen but one. His ults haven't been that good. I haven't been impressed by his Rumble ults in these fights, or Ryzo. Ryzo? Buddy?
Tier 1 backed off, sadly, but he should still
Yeah.
be dead.
Yeah, he's done. Tried to TP out, but nope. Goodbye.
They get the DP on top of the kill. It's a shutdown for the Lucian. That's very good for EVOS. They need the gold on the Lucian. They need to transition into crit for the Lucian. I really hope No Way doesn't go for the utility build from here on out, because they need his damage in the team fights.
Yeah, they absolutely do. This has not been a very good game all over by DBL. I feel like this comp is very interesting, and I think Pantheon into Yumi is like actually a pretty legit counter, potentially, but they just haven't executed it well. That
No.
level 1 dive was so bad, and
It
it's
was
just gotten
too
worse
easy to
from
read
there.
and too easy to react to. I think the plan was very clear, and if Meliodas had found the engage in the first time, maybe they can pull off the play, but after he got spotted, he just turned around, waited for a few seconds and engaged again. That really was the big mistake, because EVOS had enough time to react, to reallocate the resources, pull off the TP from, I think it was tier 1, right? Yeah, you got the first blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the greatest call. Overcommitting to the game plan sometimes can be the downfall as well. I mean, you want to see teams commit to a game plan, but sometimes you have to adapt as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's no plan survives contact with the rift. To adapt a quote. So you do need to adapt, even in such a situation where your plan is so obvious. Ooh, No Way could be in a lot of trouble here. Does manage to flash away. Ryzo going so deep. He's desperate for this. What are you doing?
Oh, we
Ryzo,
have seen this
hello?
a lot of times on Ryze's Vladimir. He likes to go very deep, and look at the items. He doesn't even have a lot of damage right now. Don't think
No.
he didn't even activate his. Did he activate it? I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like it's some cooldown.
The orb, yeah.
The Spellbinder. Yeah, but there's
Spellbinder.
Yumi with a heal and an
That was
exhaust. You were
never
never
gonna
going to
happen.
kill something there.
That was never ever happening, and you were always gonna die. At best, you were getting a 1-for-1.
And as we talked about, he's the most important member of the DBL team in terms of DPS. So
Yep.
him going down is an immediate collapse from EVOS. They get the Infernal Drake on top of that second Infernal.
Yeah, this
DBL in
is
a lot
not
of trouble.
DBL looking very, very off today. This is not a good performance out of really any of their players. Norl's been fine. I
As
mean, he hasn't
always.
really done much.
As always.
Yeah, Norl is always just at least fine. He's never particularly bad, so... Yeah, I really hope in Game 2 we see a different DBL, or this could be a short series.
Yeah, and a very surprising result if EVOS
What
can
is
pull this
Ryzen
one off.
doing? What are you doing, man? You are never getting a kill.
And especially after the Hemoplague effect ended and No Way wasn't even in kill range, just try to flash out again. Like, you don't need to overcommit. You have to know, you should know that there's still an exhaust for BO available. So yeah, I mean, Reizo continues to underperform, we have to say, after seeing his first few weeks. This game he was fine in lane and had one very good team fight early on.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Rumble versus Vlad. If he didn't do fine in that lane, like, that's real dire.
Yeah,
that's a lane that he should absolutely do fine in. And I mean, he's 2-2, which is better than several members of his team, but this hasn't been impressive Vlad play by any means.
No, definitely not. This overcommitment has cost them a lot. Now with Baron available, especially the Infernal Drake, right? And there will not be another Infernal Drake spawning, so they will always play at a 2 Infernal Drake disadvantage in this game. Look at the champs on the other team. Yumi profits a lot from Infernal Drake, and not this particular build, because it's pretty bad, but whatever, she will build more AP items later on. And then Lucian likes the Infernal.
I think this Yumi build makes sense in this game.
Yeah,
I think just being like...
Yeah,
exactly. The engage is so obvious and telegraphed from DBL, you can just stick a redemption. You know, oh, this is where they're coming in, I'm just going to put a redemption in, they'll do their burst.
Look at the Yumi summoner, not summoner, the rune choice. I've actually not touched on the Yumi rune choice. Very interesting adaptation.
I didn't mention that at the start, but we brushed over it.
Oh, I completely... I didn't pay attention, I guess. Wow. That's an interesting adaptation. Guardian Yumi to deal with the burst.
I think it makes total sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Obviously, her poke will be way worse, so I kind of understand her going for the teamfight utility item then second, because usually you want to go for the precision mastery, a cut down it's called. On Yumi it's very effective because you deal a lot, you don't have any HP items. The building redemption actually hurts you a lot as a Yumi. You lose a lot of damage from cut down. You don't want to build redemption ever if you go for the classical cut down build. So in this game I guess it's not as bad because she does not run cut down this game.
Yeah, and I mean, I actually think that makes sense in this particular game. I mean, all Biob and No Way had to do was survive lane.
Yep.
If they got through lane even, they won.
Right.
And they did. And Guardian and, going Guardian absolutely helps. Pantheon jumps in, shield pops. It's just free health, right?
Speaking of Pantheon, look at his items.
Just going lethality. He's trying to be Pike on a non-Pike budget.
Yeah, I mean, he has not died this game, which is a little bit surprising considering he's going full glass cannon.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not going to be a focus at any point because he basically walks up, jumps in, and then flails a breadstick around for a little while, and the other team's just like, we don't care.
Yeah, the bread has exactly as much impact as you would guess looking at the bread. Like
exactly, it is a stale baguette.
And it does not really do a whole lot. The knife looks a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit more than a butter knife. It's pretty aggressive.
Maybe it's covered in too much butter to really do a whole lot. At least that what it seems like this game so far.
Yeah, he's been a bit slippery, so maybe he's coated himself in the butter. But here comes the engage. This is so telegraphed again. Paulette, man drops in, gets pulled out by the Callista, and they just don't find anything. Meliodas is going to go down once he comes out of this GA. This is just... What do you do?
Yeah, I think their window is... Yeah, it's not possible for them to win teamfights anymore.
I mean, they do get a kill onto butt one. That's pretty nice. Null's doing pretty well. Has picked up 2. Big Koro doing all right against Dia1 in the back as well. But with that snare hitting, yeah, this is... DBL just doesn't win
yeah, it's a
teamfights
little
anymore.
bit depressing to see, because they can't really do anything, right? They did everything they could. Their composition is made for diving. And if the initial kill doesn't come, they will just not win the game, especially this team fight there. They'll lose the first inhibitor here. Mountain Drake is alive. They could just transition into Mountain Drake into Baron setup. Should be very easy way for EVOS to close out this game. They have Yumi, so Baron should be absolutely no problem.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't... If you're DBL, how do you contest Baron into a level 16?
Such a deep man drop. On top of no way, he flashes out. Meliodas is absolutely useless. Dia1, I'm not sure he needed to Zhonya's this early on, but whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter too much. They play front to back. There's no way they can dive the backline after the first initial dive does not really succeed. Now look at Picoro. He tries to 1v1 multiple times, but he actually gets delayed a lot, and the grievous wounds are actually super crucial to deal with this Callista. Because usually you get to see her go back to full life after a few auto attacks. Not in this game.
Yeah, overall, this is just a little bit sad here for DBL. They are just going to go quietly into the night. There's just no way they can fight anymore.
Yeah, they will probably still try, because what else can they do with this composition? But
may as well try. It's a professional game. You take the 1% chance. It's not like you'd surrender.
And maybe Meliodas can steal away the Baron.
Yeah, maybe.
Elder up in 4 minutes, so another big objective for EVOS to secure, and another objective that doesn't really mean a whole lot for DBL. So EVOS has the big advantage right now. They have the vision advantage, the vision lead over Baron as well. It's not looking too great.
Yep, it's looking very much not too great. I'd say it's looking pretty awful if you're a DBL fan. The one good thing, if you are a DBL fan, is they can play much more standard next game. This hasn't worked. This was obviously a little bit of a wacky team comp. And Null's having a bad time here. Does a lot of damage there onto Dia1, but he's just going to get absolutely cleaned up. You can't 4v5. Unfortunately, the equalizer was used. Could have done a lot down that passage, but oh well, you don't get 2 charges of it. And I mean, this could just be evil. Can you imagine 2 charges on the equalizer? Jesus.
Stacking them on top of each other for ungodly damage. Oh man. No, but this is probably another inhibitor, because EVOS doesn't want to commit to the Baron.
They're gonna go for it. May as well, right?
Bye-bye for that.
I mean, he just ults in and just immediately does nothing and gets Callista ulted out.
That looks fun. That looks like a lot of fun for the Palette, I have to say. Even though they lose the game, I think the Palette is fun.
He gets to skydive in, and then his mate Big Koro says, "All right, mate, I'll save you. Don't worry."
Wow, did you see the vision toggle there?
Yep.
That was very interesting. The illusion was not revealed, while But1 was revealed, even though But1 stood further away from the Vladimir, because of a very weird quirk of the terrain there. That's interesting. Maybe that will actually be useful information for later series. I had no idea that would work like that.
Yeah, it is interesting. Some of the ways Summoner's Rift works is a little bit janky sometimes. But we should just see EVOS setting up for Baron again. What does DBL do? They can go for a Miracle Steal, and I mean, Meliodas may as well. He doesn't have Flash, though. How does he even get into the pit?
What an absolutely useless CP. What was that?
Oh, and Thorn throws himself over. A decent equalizer there. It's not actually going to end up doing a huge amount, except for the slow.
Wrong direction once again.
What was that Nico ult?
They were really scared of Meliodas engaging. Very bad summoner spell tracking, because Meliodas didn't have his flash available. In fact, he still does not.
He had no way of getting in. And I mean, Nico ult doesn't stop the steal attempt. It's not a stun.
No, but at least you secure the kill, and maybe the kill is enough to end the game, so... Kind of understand the Nico ult, but they should be able to tell when the flash is available for Meliodas. A little bit sloppy.
I mean, it's not gonna this is now EVOS with Baron. They should just be able to walk this one in. They'll probably reset once more. They might make for It's not that big a gold lead, but look at the champions.
Yeah, you're right.
We needed to see DBL being 5k ahead if they wanted to fight at this stage of the game.
Yeah, that's very true. Palette is absolutely useless. So is Meliodas. All hopes are on Razor.
Pretty much. Yeah, Null as well can do a lot on the Akali, but...
He has not really done anything so far this game. Very quiet Akali game.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. But I'm just saying, like, if the Miracle team fight happens, it'll probably be Ryzo and Null linking up. But it is predominantly Ryzo.
And the damage from the Rumble. This is a very strong Rumble.
Yeah.
And as the observers rightfully highlight, there's a minion wave in the top lane, so someone needs to deal with that.
Yep. And DR1's just taking it in here. Hits a really good snare onto Meliodas. Just quietly, there has been an excellent play of this Nico out of DR1.
Yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't quite work. Null has the flank here. They're going to try and go for something. The last-ditch effort. The Equalizer draws a line. Again, really not the right angle there. If you just got a little bit diagonal, you would have got so many kills. But it doesn't really matter as the cleanup crew is here. The janitors have arrived. And they're sweeping up the dust. And this will be game one pushed into the dumpster as EVOS picks up an incredibly convincing win here over DBL.
And once again, a very long game. We had 4 very long games today so far. Maybe we see a little bit of a more quick approach to the next game. As I think the fastest game we had today was 30 minutes and 40 seconds for Flash in game 2. Now a 38 victory again for EVOS. Already looking pretty good in the series. I expected DBL to come in and dominate this one. EVOS looked pretty weak in the last few weeks, but a better performance. Second series with their top laner, their new top laner, so maybe there were still some communication issues in the first one. And if EVOS is competitive, VCS will get really spicy for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely looking spicy. Hopefully we do see DBL fire back a little bit better in game 2. Not trying out such a wacky comp. I don't know how much we can read into it, because obviously DBL next game can just play a bit more standard.
Yeah, we could be in for a 6-game day, because it's absolutely possible that DBL comes back in the second game and stomps that one. They are a very dangerous early game team. They're pretty much feast or famine, because most of the time they either completely stomp the early game or get rocked. So, what do you expect? Do you think EVOS is able to clean out this series in the second game?
No, I actually don't want to read too much into the result of this game into the further series, because I just don't think DBL will do this comp again. Like, I just don't think we see the Pantheon and the Xin Zhao. And I think DBL playing standard is still probably the better team.
Yep.
Like, obviously, this is a great boon for EVOS. They'll be riding high. They'll have the momentum. But I don't think game 1 being as much of a blowout as it was really sets the tone for the rest of this series. I think DBL just goes, okay, that didn't work. Let's play normal.
But they tried that last week again, as well, right? Against FTV, they experimented a little bit. They subbed in their sub-jungler Zhu Hao. They thought, okay, it's FTV, it's a free win. We can, if we win the first game, we'll just sub in the main team and win anyway. Then they actually lost 0-2s to FTV, so it might happen again here at a very experimental draft. That can backfire a lot for this top team in the VCS.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. This could be EVOS picking up the 2-0s. I don't necessarily like this approach from DBL. These series matter. You're not playing against Cerberus here. Experimenting's dangerous.
Yeah, especially against a fellow playoff team, right? If EVOS picks up the victory here, they are 5-4, only 1 series behind DBL. 1-1 in head-to-head if they win this one. If they win 2-0, they're even a little bit stronger when it comes to head-to-head, because EVOS took one game of DBL in the first series.
Yep.
We have to discuss MVP though. It's not the easiest game to MVP for. I have to say all our games today were very drawn out, so MVP was not as easy.
I think I'm leaning towards either BOB or DO1. I think the Yumi counter engage was really good, just like as in stopping engages. But I also think DO1 just had a really sick Nico game.
Yeah, I actually think this Yumi game was very easy to play for the Yumi. So even though I absolutely like to give credit to Yumi players, I think he just had to hit the R key while being attached.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was hard. But I think he did what he had to do, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I don't like saying, oh well, what you had to do is easy. It's still what you had to do.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So I guess if you want to give it to VOD, I'll agree. I think I lean slightly more towards Dia.
Yeah, I think I agree with Dia. I said Nor there, I meant Dia. But a big nod towards VOD. I think Dia.
Yep. I think a nod towards almost every player. I think really the ults from the Rumble were not the greatest. I can imagine they gotta get those angles, right? Yeah, they could give the MVP over to him on the official broadcast because they don't really care for ult directions or actual teamfight execution. And his stats, I think, looked pretty great. So we might see an MVP for but one. It's also a narrative MVP because he is a new top laner. So
yeah, because those are always super valid.
I think it's Dia. And he's only his second MVP on our stream. Storm stole the Baron, right? But other than that...
Yeah, but I don't think that really mattered in the end. It helped, but...
I'm not sure. It might actually been the most crucial play in the game. I still think overall Dia's performance was better. Zorn definitely has... There's an argument to be made to give it to Zorn as well. Because without the Baron steal, that would have been a 5k gold lead for DBL. And then maybe the game is easy enough to close out. Force dies.
Maybe. I'm still leaning towards Dia.
Yeah, let's give it to Dia. And we'll be back in about 4 minutes to see Game 2 and see if EVOS is able to cleanly close out the series or if we have a 6-game day, full games today.
G'day everybody, welcome back for Game 2 here of DBL versus EVOS. EVOS has picked up Game 1, a little bit unexpected. DBL brought out a very experimental comp. What do we think going into Game 2 here, Yulwei?
I mean, I liked your points about DBL probably going back to a more standard draft and being the better team. I still think this is a very dangerous approach. EVOS is not that bad a team. They could absolutely win a best of one if you just throw away the first game. I hope EVOS punishes DBL actually. I don't really favor EVOS or anything, but I would like to see the Baron Stealer coming in hot again for Sawn.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very, very crucial play.
What is defend per minute? What? What's that stat?
What does that mean?
I have no idea what that means. It's probably damage taken per minute, right?
That's not a good stat.
I mean, I have no idea what defend per minute is supposed to mean.
He can't have been taking 800 damage per minute.
No, that can't be true. Especially with these little kills in the game. What is defend per minute? I'm a little confused.
Someone please tell us what defend per minute
I'm super glad they showed the stats in English, but defend per minute,
unfortunately, the explanation of the stats is not in English.
Well, the most important stat obviously was Baron Stealer, and 100% kill participation is very good as well. Maybe we robbed Sawn actually, but he got a lot of MVPs on our stream already, so Tier 1
making up
one
for
as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think they all played quite well. We gave a nod to everyone. So, coming into Game 2 here, the bans so far looking the same. I don't think EVOS needs to change their bans at all. If you want to run that bot lane again, DBL, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you want to run Xin Zhao again, have fun. We're just going to do the same thing.
It was too telegraphed. I'd like to see Meliodas as a standard, maybe J4, maybe Sejuani. Adapt the pathing. Usually Meliodas is a very good early game ganking jungler. Maybe put Reizo on non-Vladimir again as well. I really don't like Vladimir on Reizo, I have to say. I'd like to see him on lane dominant champs where you can look for solo kills. Aatrox, for example, one of his best champs.
Yep. The Aatrox was banned last game, of course, so couldn't have picked it up. Ryze being taken out as well.
Yes, a very good Ryze player.
It's true. It's not too surprising. And Yuumi, Lux, both removed from the support pool.
So now Lux is removed, so they on Yuumi as well, so go for Pantheon again. Let's go.
Please no. Dear God.
We don't really need to see that one again. Didn't look too great in the first game.
I mean, if you're going to run that bot lane, just do it with a Talia, right? That's happened. That's a thing.
Yeah, it's a very strong bot lane.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you would, you don't need to do it with the Kalista. But it is going to be J4 picked up for Meliodas. Happy to see that one. Take it away from Sawn. He obviously had a very good performance. And Meliodas is pretty good on the pick as well, so...
And after we saw very little J4 in the start of the split, now he seems to be getting back to his #1 status, right? Every team is willing to first pick him or first rotation him at least. Very successful so far, but Sawn back to his favorite jungler on the Gragas, setting up a little bit of Gragas Yasuo threat as well. We'll see DL1 play the Yasuo.
It'd be hype. And I mean, there's always a chance beyond no way. I mean, I'm just waiting till we have a Gragas Yasuo bot lane. It's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, last week in LEC, G2 already played Gragas Yasuo. That being said, they probably have the best Gragas player in the world, with at least in the support position with Mickey X. So it's not really that hard of a choice for them to make, and a very good Yasuo player as well.
Very, very true. And it is the lovers lane being picked up there in the bot with Lux and Yuumi both gone. That's pretty safe. What are you picking to this? Oh, looks like it's going to be Kai'Sa.
Looks like Kai'Sa is the answer. What a surprise.
Yay! Woo! Kill me!
Such great diversity down the bot lane. No, to be fair, we had a Kalista into Lucian matchup last game, so 4 different ADC picks.
I just know that it's going to be Stormrazor, and it's going to bother me. I'm going to I'm gonna wake up in a cold sweat at 2 a.m.
It's probably
Why aren't you
possible.
building right?
Not sure what Norway built last game he played the Kaiser, but we'll have to see what he goes for this game.
Yeah,
Evo
I mean,
still has a
hopefully.
little bit of trouble closing out the draft because there's the looming threat of triple AP topside, I should say.
Oh no. Oh no.
Is Nico
We could be
Gragas
hitting
also
all
already secured? Yeah, we could have one draft with both of our big meme things here on the broadcast with triple AP topside and the Stormraiser Kaiser, and then they win the draft, obviously, because that's the only result that's acceptable.
Yeah, but I mean, they are against the Lovers Lane, which is pretty strong. Which can be pretty tricky to play against. We will have to see what they go for support. They have banned out the Nautilus, which I quite like. It's obviously very strong alongside the Kaiser. What else are they going to take out? Presumably another support. Yep, Braum taken out as well. There's two strong melee supports will be removed.
That's surprising. I'd expect the Thresh here.
Nope.
Alistair.
Looks like Alistair.
Thresh.
Bring out the cow. I mean, you know what this is setting up? Yasuo.
I mean, yeah, it absolutely is. No.
Whoa! Hello, Galio. You're not getting played after this patch.
Okay, he watched too much Slay, I guess, because Slay is our Galio connoisseur. No, why Galio?
I think Alistair was much better.
I think Thresh was the best
Galio.
option.
I agree with that.
And
but
Morgana was open as well. Morgana is very good into the Rakan as well.
Yeah.
The Galio is out of nowhere.
This Galio pick doesn't make sense. Unless there's, like, is it going to be a Yasuo? I mean, he has knockups, right?
Hey, he has one big knockup. Fair enough. It's very easy to avoid, but it's still a knockup.
Yeah. And I mean, his taunt can hold people in place and make a really big Gragas ult. That's a pretty strong wombo. Because obviously, VCS is still on 913. You can still flash W with Galio. He dies next patch.
And now with the Aatrox secured for Rezo, I'm super happy to see this one. Rezo made his first had his first big breakout game in the first game of the split, or the second game of the split, against Neven, QG on the top. What? What?
What?
What just happened? This is Dia on...
What?
Oh, this is a counter pick. Oh, this is super interesting. Counter pick into the Azir here.
Is it even a counter?
It might be. Long range champs are the bane of Azir's existence. Xerath is one of the biggest counter picks, and Varus kind of does the same as Xerath does, right? Channel Q with a lot of damage, piercing through minions.
Yeah, but I mean, Xerath is so much more gank resistant. How does Varus? Yeah, he's got an 8. He's got his 8. He's better than Varus.
I guess that's true. Varus will die.
Varus has no CC. Varus has no CC.
He is old.
That's why.
I mean.
Yeah, but that's only post. Like.
Yeah, the early game will be a little bit hard to play. I expect Gragas.
You're just gone.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I expect Gragas to play around the Varus a lot, maybe camp him, look for counter ganks.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting adaptation. I have not seen a mid lane Varus as a counter pick into Azir yet.
It's very strange. And here's Dia1's champion pool.
Yeah, it's a
12th
pretty
champ.
deep. He has picked.
Now the 12th champ.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That is a lot. That is quite the champion pool.
And considering that he has played Camille 5 times and Ryze 3 times, that's almost all the other champs are on one game. So Varus once again comes in with one game represented here.
I'm just not sure. Was this pick necessary?
I mean, they needed AD on the top side. They really needed AD. And they needed something that could either slot into the Aatrox matchup or the Azir matchup. They had Nico secured. Nico into Azir is okay, so they could have looked for top AD top laner. What was available? Irelia? Irelia could have been a good option. Yeah, I don't really understand where Irelia is gone. Maybe she really is banned.
No, but she was locked earlier. She's seen play today. We saw one game,
Yeah,
so
it's
she's
true.
not disabled.
She's not disabled. For some reason, all the teams shy away from her in the last few series.
Pallet? Pallet?
It's a lot of damage.
You're pretty deep there, man. That is a bit lucky.
Yeah, and he's super unhappy with the change that Riot did for the support item, because he didn't get any gold with his invade here. Usually would have gotten 33 or even 44 gold. This kind of engage early on.
And looking into the Discord, thank you there, has given us all the times Varus mid's been picked so far this split, and it is just an Azir counter.
Yep, yeah, I think it makes sense as an Azir counter, because
But it's
long
only
range.
50% win rate. It doesn't win every game.
Yeah, obviously it does not win every game. Counter picks in pro play are not as countery as they are in solo queue, right? Because pro play is not around one lane only.
Yeah, of course. But still, just worth noting, it's not like it's going to just make the game a 4v5.
No,
Like, I would
not.
say
You can't really deny the
I would genuinely say that if you pick Vayne against Mordekaiser, you just win the game. Because it is actually...
Yeah, that's a way harder counter. That's for sure. Varus will get lane control against Azir, especially once levels 3, levels 4 hit, because he has more immediate burst damage and he can poke him down from range.
Yeah. Just being AD is good because it means your auto attacks hurt. It's always nice.
Yeah,
also worth noting, this is going to be lethality.
Absolutely.
100%.
And we see a very good adaptation from Null. This is the adaptation we always talk about in the Gorky matchup, because all the Gorky matchups have prompted the Azir to go for more short trades, for burst trades, and he goes for Electrocute, which will help him early on in the lane against Dia as well.
Yep. Absolutely, you don't want to go for long drawn-out trades against the Varus. The W passive will just... W? Yeah, the W is the stacks. Will make the trades almost always go in his favour. And we could have Paladin in a lot of trouble here. The Flash Taunt is used. One of the last times you'll be seeing that one. He's trying to get out there. The Ignite is on him, and he's dancing around with Beob, taking so much damage. Who's going to go down first? It will be Beob. Galio's gone. Big Coro now in so much trouble, and can they catch onto Paulette? It's going to be a struggle. The flash forward, no way, you can't fade away like that. But he does double kill at the end. Oh my word. Buddy.
Yulwei tried to be too cute, but he had to return very quickly.
Yep. But in the end, it is a 2-for-1, but first blood went to Big Coro.
What a mess. Big Coro and Palette actually played on that 2v3 as well as they could. Getting one kill back, almost escaping as well on the side of the Palette. They did not invest the cleanse either, and I think there was a big blunder from Zorn. He tried to E-flash on top of Palette and actually hit Big Coro, and all the damage was focused on Palette, so there was around 2 seconds where nothing really happened in the 3v2. And that gave Big Coro and Palette enough time to turn around the fight. We'll see this one again. Focus on Zorn's flash.
Yeah, he hits Big Coro there.
Yeah, no way. He wastes an insane amount of time not auto-attacking. He has just now started to stack up his passive. Like, what did he do all the time before? Now look at this one again.
Did not see that shit coming. Thankfully, he was slowed, so...
Yeah, that looked very silly. Look at the items from Norway. You might be in for a treat here.
Please, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, giveth me a manamune. It's all I want, man. It's all I want.
Fair enough, fair enough. We're easy to please.
Exactly, I don't ask for much. It's winter here. It's it's cold. That's what Christmas is, right? So I can have a no Stormraiser game. What is going on? What?
I have no idea what's going on. Why has he only just now taunted the enemy?
Beob, hello? What?
I am.
Why was there a TP?
Why was there absolutely no reaction from Norway and Beob at all to the dive? That was very strange. BO3 did not channel his taunt until he was like way too late.
BO3 didn't even have to taunt. Like, he could have just walked away.
Yeah, either walk away or
Meliodas
taunt all three under turret. That could have been a no good option as well. Instead, he just walked around, looked at the enemies
Oh
for a
no,
little
and
bit.
this is going to be no way killed as well. Biob is finally channeling that taunt. Meliodas should go down. It's a 1-for-1. But with 2 turret plates also picked up, this is going so badly for EVOS in the bot lane. That's a 3-1 Zaya. And it's the 2-1 Kaiser as well. What the hell is happening?
Indeed.
Oh, Taunt gets
Palette?
ignited! Palette? Hello?
Please stop. Do you remember what we always say when Gam is playing? Or what you said on yesterday on cast? The coach goes to all the PCs and just tapes something over the bot lane, because the bot lane does not exist. The exact opposite happened for Meliodas here for DBL. Coach came and taped everything, something over the mid and top lane. It's just bot lane all day, every game.
And there was a big arrow as well, pointing down.
Yeah.
Gang here.
This is the path you have to take. You have to go around the Baron, Dragon, and then enter the enemy jungle to tower dive. You can't do anything else all game.
Just keep going. Bot lane is the only, which this is an ARAB, but it's actually an ARAB, and that. I didn't think about what didn't think about what that spells before I said it. I promise I didn't mean it like that. That was pretty unintentional. But regardless, it is DBL that's come out of top of the bot lane madness. About a 1k gold lead on their Zaya over this Kaiser.
Yeah, she's.
Why couldn't they do this last game?
Yeah, it's a good question. I guess the enemy team was awake that time, especially the enemy support. I still have no idea what we was doing by the previous dive. I mean, we already saw 2 dives in quick succession, so we will probably not see the replay on the first dive, which I really would like to see, because Biob was completely brain AFK there.
I mean, look, we constantly talk about how people need to donate to the stream so we can get the brain machines fixed. This is just shows why, so please give generously. It'll be going straight to the brain machine fund, definitely not to me, or Yulwei, of course not. Don't even think we have a donation link.
But you can subscribe to us if you want.
It's true, you can sub. We'll have to work on getting some emotes or something. Ooh, Ryza has to flash away.
And by the way, But1 quietly has gone with the very old Nico build. This is AD Nico, on-hit AD Nico coming in, and she has lost the lane. That's not a good sign.
I mean, he's even at the moment,
Even,
right?
yeah, I mean, going
even
in
he should win.
Yeah, going even in a ranged versus melee matchup where you go for the most oppressive early game you can possibly go for. It's not great.
Yep, I'm not sure why he's gone this build either. Like, it's outdated for a reason, right?
Yeah, it's really weird considering they picked the Varus as the last pick to get a little bit of AD on the top side, and then he just goes for AD on Nico anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a little
I mean, he
strange.
still does a lot. He still mostly does magic damage, right?
Yeah,
it's on hit. It's not really AD, it's attack spin.
It's pretty mixed. I think if he goes first item late, it's probably pretty mixed. Almost 50-50 in terms of damage. Yeah, look at this. This is why Varus beats Azir on lane, by the way.
Yeah, but he's only 6 CS ahead.
Yeah, he teleported down for God knows what reason.
I mean, teleported down for some reason. And that is actually first turret being picked up there in the bot lane. This is a pretty big lead already for DBL. They're 2.3k ahead.
Yeah, 10 minutes. This is looking completely different from the first game. This time, bot lane focus paid off, and this Zaya is super dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a absolutely nutty Zaya, but after, sorry, there's just a bit of a play here. Sorn should be able to disengage, and if all returns to usual, I'm actually just getting word in just from the studio. So yeah, it's actually time for Everyday's Everyday Kaiser check-in. And it appears that Christmas has come early because every day is a very happy boy here. There's a mana moon on No Way. It's a good Kai'Sa build, boys. I couldn't be more excited. I'm an EVOS fan now. I've given up any loyalty I had to any other team. Truly, I am converted. But that is the check-in on the Kai'Sa build. It's a mana moon.
Thank you very much. Studio once again calling in. And this Kai'Sa build will sadly probably not do a whole lot for EVOS because they are already behind 2k in the mid game with the Varus in the mid lane going for lethality.
Hey, I mean,
I think their chances to win this game are not looking too great.
It's pretty low. But I'm still happy. I'm so happy that VCS is finally catching up.
Yeah, if only Slater would build these items as well now. Yeah. He's probably the last. But I mean, the Kai'Sa gets banned against him all the time, so I guess we're fine.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't play it today, so we didn't have to see if he wanted to adapt his build. And now, the Xayah has got up to the top lane, still ridiculously strong.
Gets another
Not
plating.
a huge
Another plating.
This is ridiculous. They're just chunking through towers. What do you do with your EVOS?
The bot lane has now secured... Oh, it's another plating going down? If this plating goes down, it's the 8th plating for the bot lane. That's ridiculous.
Oh, that's a lot of gold. And Shelly's going to be popped as well, so they're going to get it. This is
10 platings
bad.
for Bikoro.
Oh no.
One more solo plating, 2 more dual
2
platings.
towers.
Yeah, that's 10 platings to the bot lane. Some were solo, some were shared. Overall, I think something like 1,500 gold lead over to Bikoro probably. And overall, the team is 3k gold up.
Yep, this is a little bit of a slaughter so far, just on the back of Big Koro. Obviously, you're going to have to see if DBL can sort of keep this going, but I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. This isn't hard to execute. Just group around Xayah, push whatever you want. EVOS can't stop you.
Yeah, they have, even in the lanes, they don't have the lead and they have the teamfight advantage. If you look at scaling, it's the Azir into lethality Varus. There's definitely an advantage in terms of team fighting for the Azir. And top lane, it's Aatrox against on-hit Nico. Definitely another advantage over to the Aatrox. So even on even footing, I would favor DBL's team composition in 5v5 setups. And with a 3k gold lead, that should be very easy.
Yep, absolutely. EVOS wants to try and go for this Infernal Drake, but they've got absolutely no chance while DBL's aware. The only real way they can possibly win a fight is if Dia1 gets a massive poke onto someone, but he's not really built it up enough yet to just chunk someone out of a fight before it starts. And this could be a second Infernal here for DBL. This is
there is also very interesting. Normally, lane, or especially mid lane, poke Varus, because it likes to go for tier, to have a little bit of better AD scaling, because the lethality items don't give too much AD. Very bad smite, once again. Malleus, true to the meme.
Yep, he doesn't think he will smite properly. Not very good. I mean, yes, I'm not too surprised, but I think mid lane Varus will probably just go triple lethality items, right?
Yeah.
He'll go the edge of it.
Oh,
so.
Someone got it.
Yep, someone does well there. Throws over the wall, gets that, but Ryzo gets most of the rest of that camp, so bit of an even split. How does EVOS come back in this game if they do? I think it's very
asking the very difficult questions.
I mean, I don't think there's a correct, very easy answer, because I think it relies on a massive mistakes out of DBL.
Yeah,
but
they have actually pretty good pick. I think if someone overextends into the enemy team, they have Varus ult, followed by Kai'Sa ult to lock him up, and then the Galio can zone a little bit. He's only level 6, so he will go down very quickly. But a little bit later on, I think, if they get pick or 2 on Null or Rezo, especially Rezo, as he has overextended a lot in the last few games, might be able to get a lot of damage on No Way to be even in teamfights compared to Bikoro. I still think it can't be, they can't really play around 5v5s. They have to try to isolate top lane matchup, as But 1 is their big win condition right now. he's still okay. His state in the game is okay.
I'm just not sure why he didn't go AP.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
a little
love
bit
to know.
weird. They have set up a 4-1 composition. I think their team composition is actually pretty strong. Even with this AD or on-hit Nico, it's a very strong split pushing setup with 4-1 and a lot of poke in the 4 and then a very good split push in the 1. It's just very hard to execute from behind because Nico is not strong enough to really threaten a lot of objectives in the side lane right now. Not even one finished item, and the 4 is not strong enough to stand up to the enemy 4. That's a big problem for the 4-1 split push composition.
Yeah, and I mean, the other factor that makes this even harder for EVOS is when the ones TP in. I mean, it's an Aatrox and an on-hit Nico. Who's TPing into more impact? It's not even a debate.
Yeah, she doesn't even want to TP in.
Yeah, and that's not really good enough because then you just lose a 5v4.
Yeah, that being said, on-hit Nico is actually not that bad at teamfighting. There are many people who come in with the mindset of the on-hit Nico is like on-hit Cannon, completely incapable of teamfighting. That's actually not the case. On-hit Nico is kind of a second ADC. She was played in the bot lane, especially in the LPL, when there was a patch where she was ridiculously overpowered. There were many ADCs in the LPL who liked to play her down there. Then she transitioned over to solo lane, because her split pushing was quite strong, but I think, yeah, she's not that bad at teamfight. Obviously not the big CC, more of the backline carry focused approach as an ADC, a secondary ADC in the teamfight.
Yeah, I mean, true, but I think that's difficult to set up with the TP.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I think it is going to be very hard for But1 to have a super big impact.
And it's already a very bad sign that he does... Wow, that's another very bad sign. What was that? I mean, never do that at home, by the way. Nico ult, not the greatest tool to chase someone down.
No, shockingly enough, a spell that makes you stop moving is not actually very good for chase.
Sadly, we have entered a little bit of a not so interesting stage of the game because EVOS can't really do anything. They need items. DBL, especially after the last game, they don't want to dive. They don't want to overcommit. Baron has not spawned. There's not really a whole lot EVOS DBL can play around. Not EVOS. EVOS does not want to play around anything. They just want to farm. So right now we probably have to wait 2 more minutes. What is your most anticipated champ for the next patch? Which champ are you most hyped to cast?
Poppy.
Poppy?
Okay, Poppy, yeah, I'm super keen.
What do you think about Kled?
Oh, actually, that's true. I didn't even think about Kled. I'm going to have so much fun with that. Kled, legitimately, I think Kled has some of the most fun flavor in his abilities in that.
Absolutely.
I think he's so much fun to watch because he just has to be aggressive.
Yeah,
there's no other way to play
great
Kled.
Ability to start team fights.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he's also super unique. The way Skull works, you have those knife edge moments where he's on like 50 health, but he gets Skull back, and that's like
and he
just
turns
completely
around exactly. And then with charge, he either gets a perfect engage, and that's hype, right? Or he just completely blows it, and then that's very funny
also,
as well. I absolutely love
the ability is called charge in all caps with 3 A's, and I'm a play-by-play caster, so if he gets a sick charge, I just get to yell charge.
Exactly how it's spelled, not just charge.
Exactly, I can't wait.
Yeah, that sounds hype.
My neighbors are gonna love me.
Do you think we'll see a bit of Swain?
Oh, I'm not
sure.
I'm not sure. Ooh, Ryzo gets a little bit caught out here. He's into 2v1. He's absolutely gone. That's nice for EVOS. They pick up something, but they still need to find a whole lot more. 6k down.
Yeah, a little bit of a nice pick. I wanted to get this kill on But1 though. He needs to be the strongest member on the team. They don't really have a... It's not really that great to have a lot of kills on No Way. I mean, you still need him in teamfights, right? But you want But1 to be the strongest member, to be the one who's able to win against anyone on the map.
Yeah, he's still 700 gold down on the Aatrox.
Exactly.
So he's not really winning the side lane yet, which is
I think he
what you
should
need.
be able to 1v1 the Aatrox right now. He has flash available.
Yeah, but can he stop the Aatrox just clearing waves?
Can't dive the Aatrox, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Aatrox looks dangerous as well. If he outplays him there, he might even be able to solo kill from the Aatrox's side as well, which is not a great sign for EVOS. And still no evolution on the Mana Moon. Oh, but one is dead.
Nope, he's might actually get out here. Nico's pretty speedy. She's speedy lizard. She goes.
Good flash from her. Sadly for now, she can't really try to 1v1 the Aatrox because he has flash advantage. That's very unfortunate. So a good pick, even though they didn't
don't
get
know
the
about going straight into the taunt there, but does get Bop's flash.
Did you see
this Galio
damage?
Yeah. For the record, this Galio has been so bad.
Yeah, it's not Slay. Slay definitely is a better Galio player.
I don't even think Slay looks that good on it, but Big Koro does pick up another kill. Meliodas should be going down here in the back, and he is. Beyond picks that one up, but Raizo has been activated. Doesn't choose to go forward. He had a res.
Can you please stop running away from 2 kills?
I don't understand.
Second time this game. That makes me mad. That's so sloppy. You can just
had a
commit to the
res.
kill.
Like, you can just go under tower for free there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, revive, okay? No one cares if you revive or not. Like, that was such a waste. And they will not be able to pick up the inhibitor because of this kill. Raizo, man. You have to clean up your play.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, overall, still pretty well played out of him. He was a big presence in that fight, but definitely could have done more.
The dive on DR1, he only has 1 flash, can't get out of there. Yeah, he's still alive right now, but oh, very good feathers. I have actually no idea where Big Kuro got the kill from. He was very far away. Look at this.
Why doesn't he go forward here?
He tries. Man, that's just lazy.
If you weren't on Aatrox and you were like, I really don't want to risk giving up a kill, okay, fair enough. But your Aatrox that's got your ult prop.
Yeah, you thought the Infernal Change would catch him. The Infernal Chain there. Yeah, you hate to see it. But in the end, it will not matter for DBL, because they're still 7k ahead. This game is still very easy for them to play. They've broken the inhibitor line. Could either try to brute force another dive, or there is not even a turret, so it's not even a dive. Just dive into the enemy fountain.
Yeah, I mean, fountain dive, why not? Probably wouldn't even lose the game. Right.
Fountain is obviously not the right call.
I'm not saying it's not wrong. I think, you know, they could dive into the fountain, wouldn't lose them this game. They're stopping this. Where was this in game 1? They picked such an aggro comp in game 1 and it just didn't work. And they picked such a standard comp with like an Azir and they absolutely kicked the door down.
Yeah, sadly we get to see this a lot from DBL, I have to say. Some experimental drafts, some experimental picks as well.
Sword. Bye. Boom.
Boom indeed. Not a whole lot to say.
Nope, fat man go down. Not good to say. Not great to say.
Nope. And this game is probably over. I mean, in a few minutes it will be. We'll see a sub 30-minute victory, the first of the day. So at least that's refreshing. DBL a little bit back to form. Razor still looks very rough around the edges. I think he looked better in week 1 and 2 already. So I'm not quite sure why he slumps so much in the last few games. I'd really like to see the substitute top laner for DBL.
It might be a little bit of he was new. teams needed a bit to figure him out, and now they have. They know how he plays a little
Enemy
bit now.
teams. Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
It's easier to play around him. Like,
I don't
I do
understand
think
how his laning phase was this good. Like, it's not like laning phase is anything special from a new player, right? Like,
well, I mean, you don't necessarily. You might play a little bit more aggressive if you think, hey, they're a rookie, or you might do the opposite if you think, I don't know what this guy's capable of. I mean, maybe I do think he individually is also playing worse, but I think he's had a slight drop off, and enemy teams are starting to figure him out, which makes him look considerably weaker overall. But I don't think he's had a bad game this game for the record. He's riding the high. Yeah.
I think Bikoro is probably the standout player so far this game. Very, very strong bot lane focus overall from DBL. And Bikoro has been the one profiter. He's in a very strong champion right now. Look at his items. It's he can probably 1v5 right now if he plays it correctly.
Yep. Yeah, bot lane has been an absolute just stop. I do not understand the Galio pick. Like, we talk about how, oh no, it's 9-14 that Galio gets murdered on. Yeah, it is, but he was pretty much like on the ground with his neck slit on 9-13, and Riot just came in and just finished him off with a golf club. So yeah, he died on
the most puzzling
but he was
changes ever, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the logic is we're just gonna kill him and rebuild him. We're gonna do a bit of a $10,000 man. But this is a fight. It's got 1 for 1 so far. Not the most interesting of fights, because this is just a massive stomp. Beob will be the second one to go down. Down goes the inhib as well. It is just the three-man defense. Noway throws himself in just to try and do something. And that thing is int, as Nor will pick that one up. And this is just game. Don't chase someone. Don't bother. I mean, Pallet will, because, I mean, he's just Rakan. But one, goodbye. This on-hit Nico has been... On-hit Nico.
Very short life.
Yeah, he's dead. Sorn is still being harassed by Pallet.
They don't give Pallet the time to get the solo kill. I'm so sad. Pallet wanted the solo kill there.
That's pretty BM by DBL there.
I think they just wanted to get in game 3 as quickly as possible. Probably a good call. They need to forget about game 1. That did not happen. DBL wants to go 7-2, wants to secure first place and get a lead on Gum and Flash. They still have to play both teams, so it's very, very important for them to get an early, very good start into the second round robin.
Yep, absolutely. We do need to see DBL returning to form. Like, DBL is meant to be sort of the kings of the VCS, right? They haven't so much looked that dominant. I don't think they are the best team in the VCS at the moment. I think Gum is pretty solidly there, even though they've had their own trips.
Yeah, and they are the only top team who has won against DBL in the series. So, oh, the game never happened. We had 1-0. Unfortunately.
Yeah, we're replaying it. It was a bug. Roll it back. I don't need to go to bed. It's only midnight. We can do another 3 games. Who cares? But no, we should.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm sure that'll be. Yeah, I mean, it's Friday night. I got nothing better to do. But no, well, let's talk about MVP. I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I think my vote goes to Bikoro.
Yeah, absolutely.
He definitely was played around, and Palette and Meliodas had a very good game as well, but in the end you still have to execute, and being the focal point of the team is not that easy. You definitely have some honest of execution on your side there. I think Bikoro looked very strong on the Zarya, much better than in game 1, and we want to see another very good game out of the ADC from DBL.
Absolutely. But we should be back in about 7 minutes to see if DBL can keep this momentum going and stabilize and take the series.
Yep. Thank you once again for joining us, and let's close out the game day today with a banger in 6 minutes.
Someday I will feel alright. Timing felt so right and we gave it all and gave him a fight. Can you feel the beat of the energy? I loved it all from start. Can you see it clear? All the happy years I kept them in my heart. The time of our lives, it was all about fun. We were the kids, it was all about punk. A shame we grow older. Remember it like it was yesterday. We were the kids and we did okay. A shame we grow older. Don't know how you remember it, but I hope you think it's alright. Timing felt so right and we gave it all and gave him a fight. Can you feel the beat of the energy? I loved it all from start. Can you see it clear? All the happy years I kept them in my heart. The time of our lives, it was all about fun. We were the kids, it was all about punk. A shame we grow older. Remember it like it was yesterday. We were the kids and we did okay. A shame we grow older. It was all about fun.
Welcome back, everyone. For the last game of the day, we hit our full 6-game day, as always, on Friday. And this one will be the last game between DBL and EVOS to decide which of the two teams will secure their playoff spot, most probably. I mean, DBL is pretty much already there, but EVOS really needs this win to get into the playoffs. Which team do you favor every day?
I definitely favour DBL. I think second game was much more standard than game one. Was much more both teams playing within their wheelhouse, and DBL dominated, right? So if both teams go to their wheelhouse again, DBL's favoured. It's definitely not. It's not 100% though.
Is it ever?
So no, of course not. I mean, League of Legends is never 100%, which is good. It'd be very boring if it was. Big Coro picking up MVP to the surprise of no one. Still love to know what defense per minute means. That's the biggest question out of today's stream.
it's really.
What does it mean?
content per minute. Nice.
I just don't know what it is.
It was 800. What can we? What?
It's not. It can't be damage if it's 800. It can't be.
I have no idea. What is can we? Shield? It can't be shielding either.
Yeah, Jarvan's shield is way too small for that. Ooh. Hello. Sworn's out.
What did they just? What? That's so surprising.
What?
Sworn has been the best performer on EVOS.
Yep, Thorn has been fantastic, but they're bringing in Kakon. I assume that's how you say his name.
He has been one of the mid-season transfers, and I think he has never played a game before in the VCS. Let me quickly check that. I was not anticipating to see him, so I've not really prepared anything on him, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have expected Thorn to be dropped out. Thorn's a linchpin for this team.
He's not even listed on Wikipedia for EVOS right now. That's a little bit
Gonna
unfortunate.
go ahead and say.
Oh, there
Gonna
he
go
is.
ahead and say he's
Con.
probably not played a game.
There he is. He's 18 and he has played for GUM previously. As a and he was on Cherry Esports, so he has a little bit of competitive experience. He's not a complete rookie. He was previously known as Barra. If anyone followed the VCS at that stage. Has not played too much in the like as a starting jungler for a big team, so I think this one will be one of his most important games to leave a big impression.
But why in a game 3 against DBL?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it has to be
talk
something
about
special
huge.
coming out here, right? Maybe he's...
Yeah, does he have a crazy pick?
Are there any crazy... Maybe Evelyn or something like that?
I mean, but surely Thorn is the man of 1,000 picks.
Yeah, exactly. He has played almost
He
everything.
played Graves!
And he looked great on Graves.
Yeah, he had a really good Graves game. He made me start playing it again. I'm glad he did, it was fun.
I'm really confused by the swap. Maybe there's some communication issues with Thorn going on. Don't really understand where this swap is coming from. J4 banned out. They're not willing to go J4 for Kakon.
I mean, if you're gonna go J4, why do you bring Kakon?
That's very true.
Thorn is brilliant on that champion, and you don't want Meliodas to have it because he's really good, so I'm not too surprised by it. I'd love if your prediction of Evelyn is correct. That'd be sick.
That's the only
I'd love
crazy pick, kind of inside the matter I can imagine in the jungle. What else can he play? Kha'Zix, maybe?
it. These
What else is
Kha'Zix,
even viable? Like
any kind of meta,
Rengar?
like... Oh, if we could see a Rengo,
I mean,
I'd be down for that.
Rengar would fit very well with EVOS' logo, so maybe it's Rengar.
Yeah, true. Like that's a thing you should definitely consider. Like honestly, DBL not picking Alistair every game, a little bit off brand. But they do get you
Kane.
so
Kane
that's a
is
good-
another one I
that's a
could
little-
imagine.
Yeah, Kane as well.
Kane, Evelyn, Kha'Zix, Rengar. Maybe Skarner, but he's not
Kane?
really off meta.
Kane Yumi sounds dirty.
Yeah, Kane with interesting support choices is always great. I really love Kane Tarek, by the way, because that combination is ridiculous. You can link up the Kane and then use the Tarek ult while Kane is inside an enemy. He comes out and is untargetable for 2.5 seconds.
Yep, and Olaf, not banned in this game, will be picked up here for Meliodas. I was a little bit scared. Raizo hovered Teemo for a really long time there. But did switch to Lux at the last second.
Lux Olaf. Very strong first round. Olaf, so Dashing Buffalo, has accepted their identity as a tempo team, and they go full on early game. Olaf will run it down if she doesn't get if she does not get ahead. So this one is on Meliodas once again, and so far he just looked great outside of the first game where he looked absolutely horrible.
Yep, Xin Zhao, not a great one. Lucian Yumi will be the bot lane here for Yulwei and BO, but we still wait to see what crazy pick. Surely not.
It's luckily.
Really? That's what you bring a new jungler in for?
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing. Maybe he's a Lee Sin
That's a bit of a
bot.
wet fart. Like, that's a bit boring. Cool. Woo!
Yeah, it's Lee Sin time. I mean, Lee Sin can still be hype, right? Lee Sin into
Yeah, but
Olaf is already a
I
matchup you
don't mind
don't
the
really
Lee
want to
Sin
opt in.
pick, but you bring in a new jungler who's not going to be like warmed up. This is the third game of a best of 3. He's going to be coming in cold. Sorn can play Lee.
Yeah, and very
This-
important best of 3, as we have already stated many times now. This one really matches for EVOS.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this bot lane though for DBL. Let's just have a look at that for a second.
Yeah, Caitlyn
Kate
Lux for Big Core on Palette. That does not sound fun.
Yeah, I don't want to play against that. I'm gonna go ahead and say that just for
EVOS
free.
probably does not want to play against that either. No way on the
Nope.
champ with 500 range on the Lucian.
Also, Big Coro playing 3 champs in 3 games.
Yeah, he's one of the most diverse ADCs here in the VCS. He does not go back to Kai'Sa all the time. He played Sona before. He has a big champion pool and he's a very good ADC. I think he slumped a little bit at the beginning of the season, and week 1 and 2 he did not really leave a good impression on me. But now he has come back to form. He was the strongest player from Dashing Buffalo, or at that time Fongbu Buffalo at MSI, I'd say. And yeah, he's back to form. Big Core looking like one of the best ADCs in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're gonna have to see what EVOS can do to stop the Caitlyn snowball. Because Lumi, wow, Lucian
Lumi,
Yumi.
I like Lumi. Let's go for
Lumi,
Lumi.
yeah, Lumi is a very strong bot lane, but it's just not stronger than Caitlyn Lux. And she's here. Aurelia, hi. Glad you could join us on the Rift.
Apparently not
Don't know where
banned, in
she's
fact.
Yeah, don't know where she's been.
And why would you ban Vladimir against Razor? That's such a weird move. Sometimes drafting from VCS
want
teams
him to
is
be.
really... Yeah, it's... Sometimes I don't understand how coaches from VCS teams can come to these conclusions, because you want to have him on the Vladimir, to have the top lane being a complete wash. You can just ignore the top lane if he's on Vladimir. Sure, he scales for late, but beating Dashing Buffaloes is not about the late game. It really is not. You need to not fall behind in lane. Vladimir is the perfect champ.
They do have the potential not to fall behind in lanes with the picks they have.
Absolutely.
Like Renekton very strong. Obviously, Lumi is one of our favorites. Looks like it. Okay. What's going on here? Is this going to be the Zoe lock? Should be.
Yeah, one of the best champs for
Alright.
Null. I really like to see Null on Zoe. I think it's one of his. He is one of the best Zoes I've seen, and one of his best champions is Zoe. So it's a very good synergy there. Yeah, you're right. You don't have to think about what I just said. That was a complete and utter. Yeah. I'm sorry, but he's a very good Zoe. That's what I wanted to say.
Just power through, man. Just power through it. Think about me. I say the wrong thing basically every sentence. You just got to keep going.
And Zoe against Syndra is an interesting matchup. Very explosive, a lot of kill potential, especially on Syndra's side. Zoe outscales her, and especially her mid game can be stronger if she gets 1 or 2 early skirmish kills. She can dominate the Syndra. It's very risky for the Syndra if the gank comes in. 1v1 should be in her favor though. And what do you feel? How do you feel about Lumi against? How do we call these other?
Cucks. Oh, that's maybe not cucks.
Kate Lux. Kate Lux? I'm not sure. It doesn't really work too well with their Luxlin.
Luxlin works.
Luxlin is okay. Lumi against Luxlin. Double L bot lane.
Yeah, it's the LL. I mean, Caitlyn Lux has got to stop it, right? Caitlyn doesn't lose lane.
Yeah, I think Caitlyn Lux has such an overwhelming range advantage that Lumi can't really do a whole lot. Yumi usually is not that bad into Lux, actually. Usually she can out-trade her on lane. But with Caitlyn, it's actually hard for Yumi to get the stacks on the gold item. I, as a mage support player, absolutely hate to play against Caitlyn because it's absolutely impossible to auto-attack the Caitlyn and not get a headshot twice or thrice. So.
Yeah, absolutely not. Caitlyn has the magical ability to aim for anywhere on your body and still call it a headshot and have it deal the damage a headshot would do. So this is going to be a rough lane. Like Yumi into Lux is already a pretty bad time because the bind is. I just think anything with CC, in my opinion, is okay at least into Yumi because you get 2 for 1 out of your CC.
I think Yumi into Lux is okay for Yumi. Most of the time, Yumi actually wins the lane if it's just the Lux, because Lux doesn't have the strongest of pokes in the early game. It's better defensively, I think. But Lux once again goes for the Guardian here in this game against Yumi. So this is an adaptation we see a lot in Yumi lanes for the Lux, because there's no aftershock really proccable on the enemy support. I still don't like this. It's bad for late game. It's only lane choice here.
Yep. And this is the invade here. Butt1 and Kakon going forward to take away the enemy red buff in response to DBL doing the same. So it should just be vertical jungling, which makes sense. The bot lane for DBL is going to have massive priority. And Renekton should have priority in top, so this makes sense.
Yeah, look at the first trade Razor took there. He's not happy with this lane. The lane state is already absolutely horrible for the Aurelia. What is Razor doing? You should not contest this one. Razor, please.
Yeah,
He's level 2.
You can't contest this, dude. He kills you. Just go stand near the minions so you at least get it. This is depressing. This is just... Oh, Meliodas, that's a contest though. He has to flash away as he gets ignited.
Wow, and he gave...
This is a big deal. Oh, Rizo's dead.
Well done. The 2 new players for EVOS coming in and grouping up for first blood on Razor. He has to teleport in, and they can't really repeat gank because Kakon, I'm sorry, not Canyon. If it was Canyon, that would be scary. Doesn't have enough health left to go for another dive, but now Butt1 is level 3, so might look for...
Level 1 of Rizo. They can dive him again.
Yeah, there's a big minion wave. Oh no. Oh,
yeah,
he's level 2 now.
Doesn't matter, he already had flawless. Yep. It hits on Butt1, but it's not going to matter. The Lee Sin Q hit.
God.
And again. This is a bad time.
Pico just casually ate 2 turret shots because the enemies will never hit him in this lane. So he needs to make it a little bit more fair and go for the turret shots anyway. First turret plating, by the way, at 3 minutes and 26 seconds. Caitlyn, ladies and gentlemen, Caitlyn.
This is Caitlyn bringing the law to the lane. But look at top lane. How does Rizo even come back?
I mean, both kills went over to Kakon, right? So at least it's not a 2-kill Renekton. That would have been really unsalvageable in the top lane.
Yeah, that would have been the Zeros situation.
Very good freeze for him. Actually, the wave control from Butt1 was not great, because he knew Razor would have to walk back to lane, so he should have pushed in the wave, reset the wave, and set up a freeze on his side. Now he gave a free win-win wave and free experience to Razor, and actually is in a little bit of a weird spot right now. At least he has wards to cover for him. But yeah, I don't like the wave control out of the top and jungle from EVOS. They could have set up a really big freeze and put Razor even farther behind than he already is.
Yeah, absolutely. Razor just needs to be absolutely put in the dirt now. If he catches up, that's almost just not... That's just a mistake by EVOS to let him. I think we need to see
already
Kakon
was a very big minion wave mistake. It's not that hard to set up the minion wave in your favor. Actually, Razor pushes out the wave even more now. That's an interesting... Yeah, it's very fascinating to watch this top lane matchup just for the wave positioning right now. So Razor tries to... I'm not quite sure why he pushed out the wave this much. Now it's very easy for Butt1 to freeze in this spot to get another gank.
Yeah, this is not looking great here.
We see a
Missing
pink
the
ward
question
here.
mark pink are coming out.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I mean, the first one should be diffused, but there's still the Renekton dash forward, but
And he can't
Kakon
even
doesn't
approach
want to
the
go
minion
for
wave
it.
now. I'm really
This push
confused.
was terrible.
What did he do?
Ryzo really just shut the brain down. This was
Completely.
silly.
Like he's not able to ever get any
Trying
CS
to
here.
farm with Flawless Duet, but can't even do that. This is horrible. At least on the backside, they'll get a Mountain Drake because they have bot side control.
And Olaf.
And Olaf, yep. But
Another Mountain Drake.
Kakon looking pretty crispy so far.
Yeah, look at the CS lead now. He had the perfect positioning on the wave and mindlessly pushed it out. That's such a huge mistake. Like,
Such an obvious mistake
Yeah,
as well. It's just bad stuff.
yeah, this sadly looks a little bit like minor region. The kind of mistake like this, because this would never happen.
Oh, you kind of hits that Q. Wow, that was sick. But they knew that Olaf was close because of the dragon going
No,
down.
don't. You don't have to go for kills.
Don't push the wave out. I don't like this. They want to get a kill on the Syndra, but you don't need
This is
to.
so
Ryzo's
unnecessary.
basically dead. But I mean, they haven't broken the freeze.
Yeah, luckily enough. But one
can
seems
just
to know a
go-
little
they
bit
can
more
just
about wave control, even though it didn't really
Yep.
show early on. And look at this, Razor can't do anything. He has not picked up the CS for a few minutes now. It's falling further
Razor's
and
just
further
nothing.
behind. Oh,
He
no.
literally does not exist. And the bot lane lead that they've got isn't enough to really make up for it.
No, 20 CS is way more than one turret plating, especially shared turret plating. It will not do a whole lot. Wave is slowly going back in favor of, but now he's behind the level compared to bot.
Yeah, but like the wave will slowly push out towards Razor, and I think at that point we see Kakon called up top.
Yeah, this is
Kill
now
him,
a
and
very
then get the
easy.
wave back in.
Yeah, there needs to be assistance from Elias. He's finally here. It has taken way too long for him to come to top lane. Should have been there 3-4 minutes ago. Because now the CS lead is already sitting at 35 CS. They could have completely avoided this CS lead, either with better play from Rezo, or just with an earlier gank from Meliodas. Why are they doing this now?
They need to stop. Like, you just needed to help reset the wave, and he just flashes forward. But one could get a double kill here. Forces the Meliodas' flash. This is so poor from DBL. What are you doing?
What is Rezo doing?
I don't understand.
This is a challenger player, right? He can't. Like, this is
This is a
horrific.
professional player. This is serious. Like
What?
I do better top, and I'm not good at League of Legends.
It's not even like he got outplayed heavily, and I mean he got dove
He outplayed
early on.
himself.
He completely messed up the lane himself. After the enemy team missed the opportunity to freeze on him, he set up the freeze himself for the enemy team. Now look at the CS lead. And by the way, the kill was only worth 220 gold, because he was absolutely worthless already. My god.
But
I cannot fathom that Razor does not know such basic things about wave management. And once again, he has pushed out the wave, but
doing
one
it
will be
again.
super happy to just hold the wave there. Like, what's
Razor,
going on?
Turn your monitor on, dude. What is
What's
happening?
going on in the top lane?
This is horrific.
Yeah, this is something else. We've not seen a performance like this before. We've seen Neven int in the top lane. We've seen Hero this week absolutely int away the top lane, but we've never seen a top laner completely kill himself with wave manipulation.
So basic though. This isn't like one being leaps and bounds better or anything like that. Big Koro caught in that Yumi ult. There they go forward. The Lee Sin presses Q. The TP comes in, but looks like it was interrupted there.
It
It
was
was.
but
Yep. Well done there. So they do manage to hold it off. It's a 3v3 at the moment. I don't think there'll be much more of the fight.
yeah, another very
Teleport-
ill-advised
teleport is
engage
basically
there,
gone.
because did you see what happened to Kakon when he entered the brush?
He got hit by the light binding.
No, even worse. He just stepped on a trap and
Oh, I didn't
still
see
tried to
that.
kick the enemy away and follow up on Q, but sadly for him, Q does not really work when you're trapped, so
shockingly enough.
Not the
If you
greatest
pick up
play.
the cupcake, it doesn't really work out for you. But now it comes down to DBL has a pretty significant lead in the bot lane, as is expected out of the Luxland lane,
Look at this.
or whatever we decide.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't
he
use.
just,
He
yeah,
has to wait
that's not good.
such a long time to press Q.
Unfortunate. But I mean, in
There
the
you
end,
cancel
they
there on
still
the top lane.
win it out because they get a TP. They now have TP advantage, and their top laner is much stronger.
Much stronger is a big understatement, I think, because the enemy
Yeah.
top lane does not really exist. It's a 2-level lead on. Yeah, Bat is 2 levels up, I should say.
Yeah.
And this is a very easy dive now. Top lane should be absolutely no problem to kill him again. Minimap.
Yeah, I
Why
mean-
are we not showing topside?
Yeah, I would love to see topside, as Ryzo is just going to die.
Okay, fair
and
enough.
there'll
It
be
was
nothing
not
in
that
the game.
interesting to look at topside.
It really wasn't. But still more interesting than just a Caitlyn right-clicking on a tower. So, I mean, it is only a 700 gold lead, but that's just because Caitlyn Lux is doing Caitlyn Lux. This was always going to happen in the bot, right?
Yeah,
There
and
was-
they have not
was
given up a
always gonna
kill,
be our
so
bot.
everything is fine.
Exactly.
No TP.
So once we go to, so what does Big Coro do now? You're not going to push an inner tower. That's way too far. Do you swap them up top?
I guess
don't
you
know.
do, but Reizo without. I mean, there could be an even deeper freeze set up for bot 1 in the bot lane, because there's no turret, right? There's no reset point for Reizo, so if they get the wave in a position where it freezes under the inner turret, there's no way Reizo can ever even see a minion again in this game.
Yeah, also, it's a 3-0 Lee Sin. He's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah,
Like,
so far,
he's
Karkon has
killing.
looked very good.
Yeah, he's an absolute killer. He's going to go out and he's going to absolutely cave in some skulls. So you don't really want to be playing fair, right? Because you have a TP disadvantage. If you go for a fight, Renekton TP's in on you, your top laner doesn't exist, and that's a 3-0 Lee Sin. Like, have fun. Yeah, your Caitlyn's big, but she's only as big as the team of giants that EVOS has assembled.
Look at the
This is
map
so
right
hard.
now. There's a very interesting play being set up by EVOS here. They completely disregard the bot lane. They don't want the freeze to put Razor further behind. They now want to spread the lead from bot. Oh, never mind me, he just bots back. So they just missed a big opportunity to freeze in the bot lane for absolutely no reason.
I
Even
think
they
they were
don't
looking
play
for
the best wave manipulation game, I have to say. They messed up the first top lane reset. Then they just messed up another reset on EVOS from Norway. And it's
Yeah, I
still
think they-
Reizo messing up even more. That gave them this big an
Yeah.
advantage. But look at the gold, it's actually almost even.
Yeah, but that's just because of Caitlyn, right? Like, Caitlyn got 5 tower plates, a CS lead, and the first turret. But Caitlyn's not going to stop EVOS here. They need to keep that snowball going, and that's going to be so difficult because you have a TP disadvantage. And, I mean, Lucian, the Lumi lane hasn't died, which is what matters, right? Oh, Null could be in some trouble here. Yep. Just miscounted the damage. Unfortunate, but still. Had to use both of his summoners there, and I think he had an exhaust on his W, which made it even stronger. But how does DBL do this? How do they play this out? They need to play around the Caitlyn, that's obvious. But
I mean,
how?
right now the game is actually in a state they really like, because Reizo gets to farm and gets to build a few more items. He's at 0 and 4, he's 50 CS down. But the lead has actually not grown for the Renekton, because Renekton once again has completely messed up his wave bot and pushed in the wave for Reizo to pick it up. I think he could have even looked for a dive. I mean, he's 2 levels up, he has flash and ult available. I really don't understand where the
had Shojin.
defensive mindset today comes from for our top laners. In the first series,
Yeah,
we
it's very
saw Rika not go for the solo kills. Now the Renekton. Why are you
Yeah,
playing
I think.
Renekton?
I mean, I think he's been called up to the mid lane here, just to be there in case of a contest on the Rift Herald. But I
Once
want to
again,
see
a
him
Rift
going
Herald
back.
past 40 minutes though, so this Rift Herald is
Yeah.
it's there, but it's not that valuable.
Ooh, Palette's a bit called out here, and he's just going to go down in the Yumi ult. No Way gets that kill for free. That's really bad. You don't want No Way getting back in this game if you're DBL.
Indeed, this is horrible for DBL. Now they lost their big advantage. They had one lane that was still doing really well. Mid lane was pretty even. Bot lane was a big win for DBL. Top lane was not even unspeakable horrors happening for DBL.
Just should be just a war crime. Shouldn't be allowed. This is I don't even know what to say. We do need to see But1 really using his lead though.
Yeah, and that's why I was so confused. He did not want to go for the solo kill, because there was a wave hitting the turret. He's level 11, the enemy is level 9. You have ult and you have the Spear of Shogun secured for yourself. You have flash available as well. Enemy does not have his flash. What else are you waiting for? Like, that's the best opportunity you'll get. And if you get the solo kill, Razor, by the way, loses another wave of minions. You get more turret platings, because we're still in turret plating time. Instead, he disengaged, went to mid lane for absolutely no reason. Like, top lane play in this game has been
bad.
Yeah, very, very bad. From both sides, interestingly enough. But Razor has been even worse. But even But1's decision making has not been great in this game. If you have any major region top laner here on EVOS' side, I think the game's over. Like,
I do think some of the mistakes But1 has made isn't entirely his fault.
Yeah,
because the fact that
that's
he's
fair.
in the mid lane is a team decision.
We still have to look at what we see, right? Because
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
I guess it's
I just
not
wanna-
bad play out of But1, but it's still bad top lane play
It's
out of
bad
EVOS.
top lane. Absolutely. I just wanted to clarify for people that might be watching.
Fair enough.
Like, they will have a shot caller, and I doubt it's But1 because he's
Definitely
been in
not
the team the
But1.
whole time. Definitely not But1. So someone told him to be mid. It's bad top lane play, but you can't necessarily put all of the blame on him. No way taking
Nicely
a lot of
done.
damage. Good job, B-Ob. Well done. That's what Yumi should do. Just block that K-Ult. Now, DBL wants to open up this mid lane, and this is scary to approach. It even just
Look at all
declared.
these skill shots
Zoe-
flying No Way's way.
Yeah, jeez. No Way has to be very, very careful. And they will want to fight over this Mountain Drake, because that is something that, because they have the top lane, the bot lane advantage in DBL, they have gotten 2 Drakes. They've got an Infernal and a Mountain. EVOS needs to play around this and try and fight back in the Drake game.
Yeah, right now top lane is in the bot lane, so they should have the advantage of the Baron. With the mid lane turret falling, DBL obviously extends their territory into the side of the EVOS, and there's a fight.
Oh, yep, there absolutely is. It's just health bar chunking out now, but no one goes down. But1 is here. Now, he is the absolute linchpin here for EVOS. He's so far ahead. He is a big crocodile. He needs to show them all the crocodile rock.
He's pretty
He's
squishy
so
though.
deep.
He wants
He's
to go for
squishy, but he has
1v2s
press
or
R.
something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
he can
Meliodas.
provide. He finds Meliodas. Meliodas has to burn ult to get away from this, and he doesn't. This is really, really bad. Paulette caught as well. Down he goes. Mountain Drake will be picked up along with 2 kills. Kakon wants to keep this going as well. They know where Norl is. Gets slowed up. Could be in a lot of trouble. Dia1 is here. Down goes Zoe as well. Raizo runs away. One of the only ones to survive. Oh no, it's all falling apart.
And
Dashing
it's
Buffalo.
8-0 in kills. It's only a 2k gold lead. It's still an 8-0.
Yep.
And 5-0
Still a
Listen from Kakon, by the way. Coming in here, we were really questioning the decision to sub in, or sub out Zorn, mostly, because we don't know anything about Kakon, so we didn't really question why he was in. We questioned why Zorn was out. But look at that,
But I mean,
5-0.
they're getting shown why, because this has been an absolute cracking performance on the Lee Sin. He was the one that got Raizo so far behind, going up there, very much correctly, just going, alright, gank once, oh, he burned his flash, and then TP'd straight back in. Just gonna come again, man. Like, nothing's changed. I'm just gonna kill you again. And then Raizo lost his mind, forgot how to manage a wave, and it's all gone wrong.
He lost his mind multiple times this game. Look at
Yeah,
that.
I'm just talking about the first time.
Yeah, that was the most appalling play. I need to go back and make an educational video out of this play, because this is probably the worst top lane wave management we have ever seen in a pro play. Yeah,
I
pro
mean,
game, I
your
should say.
video would literally just be baby's first, like, wave management. This isn't particularly high-level stuff.
No. That's, I mean, every diamond top laner can do. Maybe even plat. I'm not sure. Diamond definitely.
Like, I play in, like, low diamond, and my top laners do that.
Yeah, that's why I say every diamond top laner knows what to do.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
plat
but
maybe not.
I have
High
plats in
plat
my
maybe.
game.
Yeah.
I have
yeah.
plats.
And it's not that hard. Like, it's,
You could explain it to a gold or a silver player, and they'd get it.
I mean, it can be kind of hard to sustain the freeze. I think But1 did well to sustain the freeze most of the time. But setting up the freeze and how to not push a lane, that's basic stuff. Every pro player should absolutely know that. You can wake them up at 3 a.m. in the morning, maybe 5 a.m. because it's pro players, so they will probably go to bed at 3
They're
a.m.
probably
Yeah,
still awake.
right. So 5
Yeah.
a.m. Ask them how to manipulate waves in the top lane, and they will give you the right answer. Even the
No answer
support
anymore.
players probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something you have to know. And this is really disappointing out of Razor. This has been, like, we've been talking about Razor's downturn, but this is really, really bad.
Yeah, this
This
has
is
been
much
the,
worse than we've seen. This has been the absolute worst. He's looking
the
like
abyss.
He's Nevening himself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very sad to see because he was so
Yeah,
promising
to
in the
be fair,
first few
though,
series of it.
I don't think this game is over.
You think
There is
so?
still a really strong Caitlyn.
Yeah, there is a strong Caitlyn, but there's no real top laner. There's an Olaf 0-1-0.
There's also a Zoe. I mean, it's hard to bet
Also
against
on
Zoe
0-1-0.
pick, right? Yeah, but 200 farm, like, it doesn't really matter. He's got, his first item. He's got his loot.
Who is going to frontline for them? Like, there's no frontline at all for them. They have a really on one item. They have an Olaf on almost two, but it's still an Olaf. So
Yeah, but I mean, I just look how they take towers, right?
yeah, that's
They are still somewhat setting the tempo. We need to see EVOS push on the gas a little bit, really use how strong But1 is. More importantly, use how weak Raizo is,
yeah,
and actually start taking some objectives.
Yeah,
They
that's
need to
very
take
true.
this mid lane turret.
You can say that
They
again.
need to
Why is
take-
But1 not pushing down bot lane? What is he doing? Where is he on the map
Like,
right now?
what? He must have recalled.
Oh, there he is. Way too
There
late.
he is. Now he's starting to push bot. He needs to keep pushing this. That needs to be an absolute, just constant foot.
Yeah, he
on
also
the
can
front.
absolutely look for solo kills
Can't
all the
let them
time.
get
He's
their
still
breath.
up to a level.
Yeah, DVOS is a really good. Sorry, DVOS. Wow, DBL is a really good team. They're not looking great here, but they are a good team. If you let your foot off the gas, you let your foot off that windpipe, and they can get a breath, you can lose this game.
Yeah,
You
especially
need to push down.
Especially if you look at the Caitlyn, as you rightfully alluded to. This is a strong Caitlyn. Obviously, Caitlyn on 2 items, not quite the strongest ADC ever, and their power spike is her power spike is not great. But on 4
really hope
items,
she
on 5 items, she's absolutely there in the late game.
She just crits for like 900 damage. Like, she does absolutely insane things. I think we need to see EVOS just pushing the tempo, and I'm
Look
glad
at
to
this,
see
finally the
But1
crocodile.
actually.
Whoa, what are you doing,
We have a
Razor?
look at the bot lane. Razor, you can't fight here. He's going forward. This bad call, man. There's no minion wave.
A lot,
But1
a lot closer than I would have thought. But why
multiple tower shots. Don't recall, dude. You've got life steal. You can't be recalling here. But1 needs to push his foot down.
Can we just please go to a 4v4 meta or something like that? The 4v4 map? I don't want to see the top laners anymore.
This is really annoying
It's
to watch.
hurting my
You need
brain.
to put the foot on the throat. You need to. It is so important.
Yeah, look at the CS gap. It has not grown at all. It actually, in fact, has closed a little bit in favor of Razor.
It was 60 not long last time I looked. Now it's only 40. This is not good out of butt. You need to keep this going. Break the arm. Don't just twist it.
Absolutely.
Snap it
There
off.
he goes.
Yeah, but Rizo's going to be able to run away. You need to keep doing
Yeah,
that.
this
though.
should be
Also, I
tower
don't
at
like
least, so that was a
this
good play
second
from Bob.
line of Guardian Angel. I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either. I think, like, why are you not
push,
Please
but
get me
go!
out of this game. Get me
Son!
out of this game.
Oh my god! I'm losing my mind!
Same here. Same here.
Can we go back to bot lane, please?
Razor's
There's a
dead, by
fight!
the way.
Observers!
Finally,
Hello?
Bud found his buttons. How great.
Can we watch? Observers! Can we look at bot lane?
Yeah, I can tell you what
shit,
happened.
the solo.
I can tell you what
I
happened.
know what happened, but I would have liked to see it. What are we watching here? We're just watching people walk around. There was a solo kill.
Yeah, no, solo
Holy
kills are
shit!
not
I'm
important.
losing my mind.
They probably have some kind of contract with Razor. They showed him die 4 times on screen, so that's the maximum for a game. Ah, there we go.
Oh, thank God, we get a replay at least. Oh, right. So why would you dash forward?
Look at this amazing stopwatch.
Oh, holy shit!
And that amazing
dude.
flash as well. My god, Razor.
Wow.
Oh, this is Baron, by the way, for EVOS. Finally, they're using Bud once pressure.
Yeah, and he's pretty caught here. He's
Yeah, he's
almost
dead.
certainly dead. He's dead, but it doesn't matter, right? Look how much
Doesn't
time
matter,
it's gonna
really
buy.
matter.
Yeah, he's gonna buy heaps of time with that GA. He finally goes down. Baron's on half health. What? Is Meliodas gonna
Ooh, Razor's here.
Oh, Rizo's here, guys! Whoa, watch out! It's Rizo! Oh, he actually gets 2 kills. Maybe I spoke a little bit too soon, because he does get given 2 kills. This is really bad here for
Oh,
Evo.
that's all backfired.
Oh,
Oh
no,
my
don't
God.
clip it. Don't clip
You
it.
can't be serious. You can't be serious.
How?
Razor
How
will
is
win
this
this game. Razor
How
will
is
win this
DBL
game.
coming back? They just aced.
Yeah, but with a
I
little bit of
quit.
a mistake, in my opinion, there, he should not have flashed out. He should have looked to maybe get a kill on the Caitlyn, definitely occupy more time, because him flashing away gave away the Baron start immediately. All of DBL knew EVOS was on the Baron. It's a 5-man ace, so they immediately get Baron and an inhibitor, and now look at the gold. Almost
This is one of
3k
the
up for
worst
DBL.
games of League of Legends I've ever watched.
You're
This
very
is
correct.
terrible.
Look at Razor here, raid boss status. Dealing absolutely no damage, but he still got the kills.
I'm so annoyed.
And this time, Biop,
Biop!
no, that was not a good call, Biop, by the way.
You didn't have to tank that. Like, you don't have to tank it when the person who's gonna hit it isn't gonna die, and you are. Oh.
I mean, I like the instinct, because usually that's a good
Yeah.
play, but in that situation, not the greatest decision on the Yuumi.
No, really, really not. This is...
Now there's a bounty on the Razor, by the way.
What is going on?
Not a whole lot of good League of Legends, sadly. But DBL might still eke out the victory here after a big blunder from EVOS.
Absolutely enormous blunder. They're 3k gold down now. Rizo has 2 items. He's not that far behind Butt anymore.
And Bud can still solo kill them. I hope he knows
Yeah, he
that as well.
can.
I mean, he should definitely look for the solo kill. There's no stopwatch, there's no flash for Razor. Just try to
And
solo
he's
kill
not
him again.
playing like he knows that, and he wasn't playing like he knew you could solo kill before Rizo got 2 kills.
There's flank.
Look at Rizo in the base. Rizo's just pushing it in. And here comes Butt now. Can he get a good stun down? Nope. And the
Just
Yuumi
get
ult's
me
terrible
out
as
of
well.
this
Look
game.
at Rizo
Just
in the
get
base.
me out of
Look at
this
Rizo in the base. Get me out of here.
What was
They're gonna win.
that?
They're gonna win.
I mean, the wrong
DBL's
team
gonna
will
win
win,
the game.
because DBL definitely did not deserve to win this game. The bot lane did, but Razor did
I
not.
don't think EVOS did either, though. Like,
That's
can
very
we
true.
award no one the win?
And Razor just gave away another shutdown for absolutely no reason. Got 1 turret,
Yep.
but now it's
They got a
45 on the
Nexus
map.
turret, right? And I mean, this is going to be the inhibitor going down as well. It's a Caitlyn siege. There's 2 inhibs down for EVOS. The EVOS are going to lose.
They most definitely will, because they can't do anything against Caitlyn Siege. And there's another wave. They still have Baron on the side of DBL. This game
think
just
they win
might
here.
just end in a 4v5. That's very interesting state. There
But
he goes.
going in here does get on top of Meliodas, but doesn't do enough damage and has to just back off. They have no answer to Big Coro. This is game.
What an absolutely massive
I
game.
quit.
Seriously.
I can't handle this. Null does go down. This is going to be the last chance saloon for EVOS. Then Nexus is supposed to be Coro. Right click on something.
Yeah, you did. He called bot.
Yeah, but he was just wandering around, and now the Nexus will fall, and DBL gets the most undeserved win I've ever seen. In
They
one of
can't
the
keep
worst-
getting away with this. Oh my god.
Was there like
What was this last game?
was there bribes?
What a game. What a game. MVP goes to the minions who had to watch. Oh my god. Razor, get out of there. You're not a pro anymore. Not after that performance. Holy shit.
Fucking hell, man! I don't even care about swearing. What was that? Both teams were awful. Let's be totally honest here. DBL played really badly, but EVOS let him back in.
Yeah, the Baron call in the end backfired horribly. I still think the call in itself is a good call, just because you have 4 people occupied on the other side of the map. The problem, in my opinion, was not the Baron call itself. It was that Bud did not adapt to the Baron call. He didn't try to chase them off, or he immediately tried to flash away, which really gave away the Baron call. If he had tried to maybe get out in the lane, or maybe go for a fight and then flash at the end of the play, maybe they would have chased him a little bit longer and the Baron would have been more safe. I also am not sure how the Baron tanking went this horrible, because usually with 4 members on Baron and Yumi to heal you up, you should not lose this much HP. Yeah, I'm not sure. I still think the Baron call overall is a good decision. Maybe you have to back off if you notice that your Baron damage is not enough to kill the Baron. Maybe the overcommitment on the Baron to secure the Baron was the big mistake. In my opinion, it was more on Bud giving away the Baron too easily. Yeah, indicating that all the other members of his team were in fact doing Baron. But in the end, that's the big throw. Razor wins a game where he shows the worst top lane wave management of all time.
This was... Razor does not deserve to win that game.
Definitely.
But one also doesn't deserve to win this game, even though he won his lane. He could have done so much more. He was in the position to cut the Buffalo's head off, and he just went, nah, its leg's broken. Buffaloes can't heal. Like, bloody hell, man! Just kill him! Just kill him!
Especially with Renekton, you have to be able to push your lead, because Renekton it's very common to get ahead on Renekton. But you have to be able to play it out. You have to look for the solo kills. You can't back off of the turrets early on. He had this big opportunity on the at the bot lane turret where Razor was sitting at level 9 under turret without a flash available, but had flash and ult and was level 11. He could have definitely solo killed him there. Did not go for the play. Razor got more minions. Then he finally solo killed Razor. I mean, that was a good play from him, but it came a little bit too late. And then the big Baron throw happened. What a very unfortunate game especially for the viewers. I'm very sorry you had to endure that
I mean,
one.
it was fun. Don't get me wrong, these games are
It
fun.
made me angry.
It made me angry though, because like DBL's meant to be one of the best teams in the VCS. This isn't Cerberus versus FTV kind of a clash of the bottom
That's
of
a
the
really
table.
sad part. I agree.
This is meant to be one of our best teams, and they just look terrible. Can you imagine doing that at Worlds play-ins against, I don't know, like in the group stages of Worlds? Do that against Fnatic. Just get your shit stomped.
I mean, as I said, I think every major region top laner would have ended this game at 17 minutes probably after that. After what Razor did in the top lane, there was no way this game was winnable for DBL. He completely threw away the game at, what was it, 4 minutes, 5 minutes?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was just atrocious. Like, and I was really happy. Like, Kakon did exactly what I think he needed to do. He ganked once on the Aurelia, got the kill, immediately came back, was applying more and more pressure, and then just said, got my Renekton miles ahead. I don't need to go top lane ever again, because it's a Renekton with a massive lead. Right?
Yeah,
Great.
and in an
And then
unbreakable freeze.
But one was just like, oh, I can't play aggro. It's an Irelia. It's 0-5 Irelia, mate. Just
Yeah, it was a very
go.
disappointing game to watch. In the end, DBL somehow win and are now sitting at 7-2. And looking at the standings, they are the best team in the league, which is that's a little bit of a bad sign for VCS. But I think they will not be. If they play like this, they will not be the first seed coming into Worlds, because
I think
Gum will absolutely murder them. Imagine doing what Razor did against Zeros or Yoshino.
Oh
I
god,
mean-
they would. And that's my point. It's like those old samurai movies and stuff that are super like cheesy. Like one samurai's down on his knees and he's like, end me honorably, and like then the other guy just cuts their head off, and it's like this really emotional moment. But one basically swung his sword, let go of it, it bounced off a tree and went through his own fucking forehead. Like,
Yeah.
just not good enough. We need to see better play. I'm sorry, we just need to see better play in the VCS.
Yeah, and right now, especially after this series, I really think DBL is maybe not even top 2 right now. I have to say, I'm questioning Flash a little bit as well, because they always lose their first game for some very weird reason as well. They look very often in the game once, but overall, I think their play has looked better.
Yeah, and I mean DBL has the potential to be a super high level team, but you need to show it. You can't play games like that.
Yeah, and look at what we have in store for tomorrow. It's actually BL against Flash, the second series tomorrow, so they can prove us wrong completely with the second
I
series
hope they
tomorrow.
do as well. I hope they do. I hope we're wrong.
Oh, I really hope they lose, because I want to see DBL lose coming into players so that they know they have to improve. It's not like I hate the team. I like the players. I think DBL has some of the best individual players, probably by far the best mid laner, very good spot lane, very strong jungler as well. Top lane, not so much, but I think they need to lose a few series and maybe come into players as a third seed or fourth seed and really try to adapt their style, try to learn basic concepts like wave management, like not over chasing enemies.
They need to have the illusion of them being the kings of the VCS Pro.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
Which would be, I think that would be really good. Like I don't like seeing DBL bad because I think they're a good team, and we want I don't really have a favorite team in the VCS. I haven't been watching the VCS for that long, but I really love the region so far, and I want to see them have as many strong teams as possible. And DBL should be one of them.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating to watch little small mistakes, or not even small mistakes, in this case very big mistakes, very fundamental mistakes that will get absolutely explored in the, or not explored, I'm sorry, yeah, that will get absolutely, they will get punished for these mistakes if they play like this internationally, not get punished in the VCS. It's not good for DBL, it's not good for their development, it's not good for the region. That's why I hope Flash tomorrow shows up, stomps DBL, and DBL goes back to the drawing board, maybe thinks about playing the secondary top laner, their trainee top laner who just turned 17. Or just teach Razor some lessons. I mean, he's very young as well.
Yeah,
He's
I mean, I hope Razor's getting a big talking to.
That's what coaching stuff is for. You should be able to sort out these kinds of very basic mistakes.
Yeah, this isn't hard to fix. This isn't like we're not just saying like Razor's really bad and in a way that takes so much practice. He's not bad at the champion. That was just a really stupid mistake with wave management. You can fix that. But anyway, we'll have to see how they do tomorrow.
And we'll have to give them MVP for this horrible game.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean, Victoria, right?
I think it's Victoria again, yeah. The main broadcast was right, so he gets double MVP for the series. Very good Caitlyn play. I have nothing to say against him. He played a good game. His team absolutely did not deserve to win this game, but he did, and Palette did too, so good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they did what they meant to do, right? They picked Caitlyn Lux, they dominated lane, and they took tower super early. They did exactly what, that was paint by numbers, The rest of the team fell apart. Didn't matter in the end.
Yep, And even though this last game was a little bit of a pain to watch, but we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you all for joining us today. If you missed any of the games today, I'll upload them in the next few hours. Usually takes around 3 hours to have them live on my YouTube channel. You can find the channel in the description of this Twitch channel. And then see you tomorrow. Thank you every day.
Thank you.